He is reborn as a newborn, and the moment his eyes open, a notification from an infinite evolution system appears. The system promises limitless strength if he trains specific body parts regularly, and even sipping a glass of milk each month increases his power. By 3 months old, he has already delivered 10,000 leg kicks. At 4 months, he masters crawling, and by 5 months, he is walking. At 6 months old, he watches television with his parents and learns the world's secret. Humanity can gain superhuman abilities in 2 ways, through cybernetic upgrades or by fusing genes from mutated beasts. Cyborgs boost themselves with mechanical parts, while gene fusers gain powers by merging mutated beast DNA. Those beasts are the main threat to civilization. Soon new neighbors move in next door, and their daughter Shen Qinghan becomes his first friend. He does not yet realize how tightly their destinies will intertwine. A simple hello can launch an epic saga. By 7 months, he can run and jump effortlessly, and at 8 months, he sneaks in sit-ups to work his abs whenever his parents are not looking. One day, his mother catches him mid-workout. Startled, he instantly pretends to be sleeping to avoid suspicion. During bath time, his mother notices his surprisingly strong physique and shouts for her husband in shock. Lin Yangxing rushes in, excited, and declares their son a once-in-a-generation talent. He feels relieved that his parents are web novel authors, hoping their stories can hide his unusual abilities. While watching the news, he sees a 2-year-old prodigy lifting a 20-kilogram dumbbell, and his mother remains convinced that her own son is just as amazing. On his 2nd birthday, he slips into the storage room and lifts a 20-kilogram weight with one hand, but his focus breaks when he hears his friend Han Han has arrived to play. Because the girl loves to cling to him, he uses her like a living weighted vest during secret workouts, although she often distracts him by peeing on him. By age 3, his strength has doubled to 40 kilograms, yet the system still ranks him as ordinary Tier 1, leaving him wondering how to reach the next level. He finally steps outside and is amazed by the dazzling futuristic city, watching cyborgs and gene fusers strolling the streets alongside his family and neighbors. Su Meng and little Shen Qinghan head to the library. Because his parents forbid electronic devices, he relies on books to learn. When they arrive, his mother gently guides him to the children's section, but he skips the picture books and wanders into aisles of heavy encyclopedias. Han Han trails close behind, fearing a scolding, while Su Meng wonders why he is drawn to such dense texts. Zhang Wangxin shrugs, joking that it must be his genius genes. Even as Han Han offers cookies, he remains glued to the pages, discovering the world's secret. All life is divided into 6 biological tiers: ordinary, advanced, rare, epic, legendary, and mythical. Each level contains 9 sub-tiers. Suddenly, his own spot becomes clear. Humans like his parents sit at the bottom. This revelation fuels his resolve to train harder, grow faster, and rise beyond his limits. Talk about leveling up, huh? At that moment, his system pings a new quest to read 100 million characters. Excited to sharpen both mind and body, he accepts immediately. Quest accepted. For the next year, he splits his time between relentless training and devouring books. By age 4, his hard work pays off, and he and his friend walk hand in hand into kindergarten, led by Miss Jiangmi. Soon after school begins, he finally advances to ordinary Tier 2. His progress is astounding. He can hoist an 80-kilogram weight with one hand, leap over a meter, and sprint 100 meters in under 11 seconds. One day, he spots a group of kids surrounding Han Han, who is crying after being mocked as a bedwetter. Seeing his friend bullied, he knows he cannot stay silent. He bursts forward, landing in the circle with dramatic force. Staring the bullies down, he threatens, "If you ever pick on Han Han again, I will pee on your beds every single day." The children dissolve into tears and vow never to return to kindergarten. Half a year later, he finally finishes his massive reading quest of over 100 million characters. What a marathon. As a reward, he obtains the Celestial Root of Wisdom, granting him flawless eidetic memory and peak human learning ability. Time flies, and soon he and Shen Qinghan are almost 7. Even during long breaks, he never eases up. Now he can train with a 200-kilogram barbell. His mind progresses just as quickly. Powered by his new attribute, he masters the elementary curriculum far ahead of schedule, and when he starts at Sunshine Elementary, academic contests feel like child's play. Beyond competitions, he tutors Shen Qinghan. Though she lacks innate genius, her diligence shines, and with his help her grades rise to second place in the class by the end of the semester. Just when his school life seems routine, an unexpected event occurs. A new transfer student named Bai joins the class, and he senses something unusual about her. He detects a faint, distinct aura unlike any ordinary human. While Shen Qinghan thinks the girl is very pretty, he focuses on the strange energy, wondering if she is a gene fuser or a descendant. In the following days, Bai remains an enigma, keeping to herself and not speaking to anyone. When lessons end, she simply rests her head on the desk, staying motionless. Soon something disturbing occurs. A thick white fluid leaks from her body, soaking her clothes and dripping down her skin. The classroom stench becomes unbearable, prompting students to wrinkle their noses and mutter complaints. One boy escalates his cruelty, sneering at her misfortune. With a cruel laugh, he pours water from his bottle over her head, mocking, "I am washing you clean." Drenched and humiliated, Bai Jui trembles at her desk, fists clenched, silent tears streaming down her cheeks as the bullies laugh louder. From her seat, Shen Qinghan anxiously turns to him, whispering whether they can help. He had sensed danger from her presence earlier, and now seeing her tormented gives him reason enough to act. He steps forward without hesitation, grabs the ringleader Guan Chun by the collar, and with a sharp grin orders him to wipe the girl's desk. Terror flashes across the bully's face as he stammers his agreement. The other bullies, too scared to resist, scramble for tissues to frantically clean every drop of water. When the desk is spotless, he issues one final command. They must all apologize to her immediately. Under his cold glare, the bullies crumble. Drenched in sweat, they bow their heads, mutter apologies, swear never to bother her again, and flee the room. As silence returns, she slowly lifts her head, voice trembling with gratitude as she thanks both him and Shen Qinghan. Shen Qinghan steps forward, gently resting a hand on her shoulder, and firmly declares that classmates should protect each other. From that moment, she becomes the girl's friend, pulling him along, and the three start hanging out as a tight trio. Looks like a new squad forms. Shen Qinghan dotes on her, always offering the best snacks first. One day, the girl hesitates when offered treats and softly asks if they are disgusted by her smell. Qinghan shakes his head confidently, telling her it is not a dream. She knows what rejection feels like and would never be disgusted. She smiles warmly, declares they will be friends forever, and pulls him into the promise as well. Overwhelmed, she bursts into tears and hugs her tightly. After calming, she insists on giving something in return. She removes a necklace from around her neck, threaded with 2 beast fangs, explaining it was a birthday gift from her mother, and offering it as a symbol of their friendship. Beneath the setting sun, the 3 children stand side by side, pledging everlasting friendship. Yet one day, Qinghan is stunned to learn the girl has suddenly transferred away. He confirms the news, having seen her sign the withdrawal papers himself, recalling she was in the principal's office with a mysterious man. The principal assured the man that her records would stay confidential, cementing his suspicion that her identity was far from ordinary. One evening at home, he massages his mother's shoulders, having mastered professional-level massage techniques thanks to his celestial root of wisdom. Suddenly, the television breaks with news about the Kyoto prodigy. At only 10 years old, the boy has already fused with aberrant beast genes. He watches as a massive 500-kilogram boulder is lifted with one hand. Lin Zichen instantly recognizes the boy and realizes his rival has already achieved gene fusion. His father Lin Yangxing grumbles about the boy's constant television appearances. Zhang Wangsun argues back, criticizing how cruel it is to experiment on a child. Lin Yangxing explains the prodigy belongs to a 1,000-year-old martial arts clan with advanced fusion techniques. While the parents argue, Lin Zichen's mind drifts elsewhere. He recalls the boy could lift only 100 kilograms before fusion, then his strength jumped 5-fold. By comparison, The 8-year-old protagonist, without fusion, can already lift 300 kilograms with one hand. That's some serious raw power. The news shifts to a grim report. A nearby city has been annihilated by a massive explosion from a horrifying invasion, and footage shows endless hordes of monstrous aberrant rats swarming the ruins. One grotesque rat seizes a screaming woman in its jaws and devours her alive. Reports claim the catastrophe was caused by heretics, an underground cult that manipulates aberrant beasts to attack humanity. An official from Sakura country pleads for international aid, denouncing the heretics as traitors. Watching this, Lin Zichun feels relieved to live in a stable country where he can quietly grow stronger. Suddenly, deafening sonic booms split the night sky. Alarmed, he rushes to the window, pulls back the curtain, and sees squadrons of heavily armed cyborgs streaking overhead in formation. The next morning, he waits for his friend. When she arrives, his eyes fall on the beast fang necklace at her chest, and to his shock, it flashes a vivid blue for an instant. It was the fang of an aberrant beast. With the necklace glowing and cyborgs deployed last night, danger feels close. On their way to school, they pass a woman leaning casually against a street lamp. Danger's got a new accessory. She comments on how cute they look, asking if they are siblings. Han proudly corrects her, saying they are childhood best friends. The woman smiles, wishing she had such a bond. Her tone shifts as she asks why they are walking alone. Sensing danger, he firmly grabs his friend's hand and pulls her away, later reminding her never to talk to strangers. He leads them down a shortcut through a deserted alley. His friend looks nervous, but he reassures her the area is empty because it is slated for demolition. From the shadows, the same woman steps out, with a hulking man named Cheng looming behind her. Though he had taken a different route, she still finds them. Cheng loses patience, charging forward with a chemically soaked cloth, growling that they should just knock the children out. Instinctively, he shoves his friend aside. His small fist tightens, condensing all his strength into one blow that slams into the man's face with powerful impact. Cheng's massive body is hurled backward, crashing into the alley with a howl of pain. The red-haired woman freezes, stunned that a child just sent a grown man flying. On the ground, Cheng coughs violently, blood pouring from his mouth. He does not hesitate, spins toward the woman, and slams a heavy punch into her stomach. He follows with a crushing uppercut to her jaw, briefly considering ending them both right then. Standing over their fallen bodies, his expression hardens. Before he can act, the ground trembles violently. A colossal claw smashes through a nearby building's side, scattering rubble as a monstrous aberrant rat emerges, towering over the alley. The beast ignores the children, focusing on the unconscious woman. With one swift swipe, its claws cleanly sever her head. Realizing the danger, he scoops the girl into his arms and tells her they are facing a giant aberrant rat and must run immediately. He bolts, carrying her away from the collapsing alley. Behind them, the night sky splits again as a blur of red and gold streaks downward. Talk about dramatic exits. A female cyborg with blonde hair and rabbit ear attachments on her helmet dives at breathtaking speed, landing behind the monster as her gauntlet lights up, readying her weapon. A rapid barrage of projectiles erupts, exploding into a fiery storm that engulfs the rat. He shields his companion as flames and smoke fill the alley. The beast roars in agony, staggering under the assault. Seizing the opening, the cyborg darts forward in a blur, striking until the beast finally collapses lifeless. Later that evening, he sits at home watching the news replay, analyzing every movement and reaching a sobering conclusion. He notes the cyborg is not overwhelmingly strong. She had to wear the creature down over a 7-minute fight. He realizes aberrant rats can grow over 10 meters and reach the ordinary 5th tier. Though he escaped unharmed, the danger is undeniable. He makes a quiet vow to train harder so he can protect himself and those he cherishes. Time to level up for real. He returns to his training chamber, grinding through punishing squats with a massive barbell across his shoulders. Life goes on despite the threats. On his and the girl's 9th birthday, they celebrate with family, exchange wishes, and he presents her with a gift. Having mastered wood carving overnight, he gives her a delicate wooden hairpin. She immediately slides it into her hair, beaming with joy. The two eventually graduate from elementary school. As they leave, his system chimes, confirming he has completed the 9 years of compulsory education. He unlocks new titles and prepares for the next milestone, middle school overlord. During the break, he pushes himself through brutal training. He performs 1,000 push-ups beneath a crushing boulder as the system showers him with stat boosts. After a grueling 10-kilometer run, he advances to ordinary Tier 3. His stats skyrocket, allowing a 700-kilogram lift and a 6-second sprint. Yet he wonders about the progress of the Kyoto prodigy. A news report shows the 14-year-old prodigy, now fused with ant genes, lifting a 2,000-kilogram alloy block. He calculates the numbers. Ant genes multiply strength up to 8 times. Without the enhancement, the prodigy's base strength is barely 500 kilograms, leaving him with a self-assured smile. He exhales in relief as his raw strength still surpasses his rival, a quiet smile forming on his face. He realizes that if this is his potential without fusion, then with the right genes he will be unstoppable. Middle school starts, and invitations pour in from the city's top institutions, but he chooses Shanghai Middle School on one condition. His best friend must be in the same class. At registration, the principal and homeroom teacher warmly welcome them, praising his reputation. Yet his true reason for choosing this school is its cutting-edge athletic facilities. Before classes even begin, the two head straight for the badminton court. His friend Han bounces with excitement, but the game is interrupted when a group of upperclassmen swagger in. The leader of the group snatches the shuttlecock midair and declares the court theirs. His friends jeer, mocking that his companion can stay to spar with them. Game on. She plants her feet firmly and declares the rule is simple: first come, first served. He narrows his eyes and tells them to step back, but the leader sneers, saying rules do not matter. At that moment, he springs into action, insisting his own rules are the only ones that count. He leaps up and smashes the shuttlecock with tremendous force. The strike shatters the leader's racket and sends his cap flying. The senior students freeze in horror as their bravado crumbles. They bow, stammer apologies, and flee in terror. The news spreads quickly, and after that day nobody dares to bully them again. At school, he is far ahead of his classmates, having already mastered the middle school curriculum. He glides through classes unnoticed, while nights are spent juggling intense training and new skills. Thanks to his uncanny wisdom, he picks up cooking, swimming, photography, and even driving. He truly is a multitasker. But the middle school overlord title remains out of reach. To earn it, he knows he must excel beyond books. He throws himself into national contests, collecting trophies while deliberately avoiding first place to stay under the radar. Nice, low-key hustle. When the semester ends, the title is still missing. What he does receive is a pile of admirers. His desk is covered with love letters, but he brushes them aside to keep tutoring his friend. At the upcoming sports festival, he signs up for 3 events. Each becomes a showcase of raw power and speed. He hurls the shot put 200 meters, leaving the crowd speechless. Even while pretending to be ordinary, he steamrolls the competition. Sitting with his friend afterward, a wave of power surges through him and a notification flashes. He has earned the middle school overlord title. Because of his remarkable feats, he now holds all 3 school-age titles. The 9-year compulsory education dominance is complete, granting him a new biological trait called survival of the fittest. Later that afternoon, as he walks home, he quietly thinks about this new predatory ability. It lets him consume the life essence of other creatures to evolve. He wonders exactly what counts as life essence. He asks his companion to lend the beast fang necklace they received. The moment she hands it over, his system lights up, indicating he has absorbed a fragment of the abyssal giant butterfly's life essence. A shadowy silhouette of a massive dark butterfly materializes before him. He realizes the fang came from something far beyond an ordinary creature. The tooth was from the abyssal giant butterfly. That night, he scoured the internet for answers, digging into every corner of the web. To his frustration, he found no records. If he wants to understand its power, he will have to figure it out on his own. Remembering that Bai Shui had given a pair of fangs, he rummaged through his belongings until he uncovered the second tooth. Clutching the second fang, he absorbs its power as a system alert flashes. Another sliver of life essence is consumed. To his disappointment, the abyssal giant butterfly guidebook only moves forward 2%. He scowls at the fang, realizing it holds barely any essence. Unlocking the butterfly's full potential would require something far more substantial. The next afternoon, he decides to add cycling to his routine. It would build his physique and give him a quick escape if strange beasts ever appear. Each day he rides Shen Qing Han home through the city streets. During one of those rides, Coach Guo shouts his name. Lin Zichen stops to listen as the coach praises his record-breaking performance at the sports festival. Coach Guo really sees the potential. Coach Guo just spotted a secret superhero. Calling it unmatched in the school's history, the coach invites him to join the team, insisting his athletic talents eclipse even his academic brilliance. Coach Guo speaks with such enthusiasm that he barely waits for a reply. He mentions the martial arts team trains in Room C of the gym and urges him to drop by. That evening, he prepares an experiment with his new survival of the fittest trait. He claps his hands, crushing a cockroach and a mosquito he spotted earlier. When he opens his palms, no surge of power comes. He realizes that common pests are too weak and lack life essence worth absorbing. Only rare or formidable creatures hold the energy he needs to grow. The next day, he pedals his bike toward a city supermarket. Fresh hunting trip. Inside, he sees neatly packaged beast meat, but he feels a pang of frustration. Packaged meat will not work, he needs direct contact. Just then, a loud voice catches his attention. A butcher is shouting about fresh beast meat under a bright sign. Shen Qing Han looks puzzled as he tells her to wait. He walks to the counter and presses his hand firmly against a slab of fresh meat. The instant his skin touches it, a wave of purple energy rushes into him. His body hums with power. He can barely contain his excitement, while his friend watches, confused why touching raw meat excites him so much. She steps closer and asks what it feels like. He jokes that it just feels fresher than usual and asks if she wants to try. She waves her hands frantically, refusing. Having validated his theory, he decides to buy some meat to experiment at home. His friend cannot believe it because beast meat is insanely pricey. Even the cheapest cut costs nearly 1,000 yen. She urges him to return it and ask his mother, but he just smiles and gently pats her head to calm her. He smoothly lies, saying his mother already told him to buy plenty for both families. A memory flashes of his mother agreeing to prepare a big feast, but that was only half true. He plans to share, but his main goal is to see if eating beast meat lets him absorb life essence directly. He suspects that just touching might lower the meat's quality. At checkout, he pays nearly 3,000 yen for 3 small packages of ghost shadow squid. The cashier thanks him, and he bears the steep cost with a calm face. As they leave, he cannot stop thinking about the meat's price. When they finish shopping, it is past 9 o'clock. On the ride back, his mind stays fixed on the experiment. Unable to resist, he lightly rests his hand on one of the squid packages in the basket. A familiar pulse of purple energy flows through him. The system confirms he absorbed the squid essence and unlocks a new guidebook. Yet the progress bar barely moves, rising only by 0.1%. Progress is slow, but hey, steady wins the race. As he cycles through quiet streets, he calculates his progress. He estimates he will need a huge amount of meat to reach full mastery. The squid's ability to dissolve into water and vanish makes it worth the effort. He weighs the financial challenge, since asking his family is not an option. To his relief, the squid stays fresh and edible even after extraction. By the time he keeps riding, his progress reaches 3%. His focus breaks when his companion's urgent voice makes him slam on the brakes, barely missing a couple. She points ahead to a real crisis. A big man holding a knife to the throat of their teacher, Zio Mei. Talk about a tense moment. The man shouts threats at the crowd. The police captain restrains Officer Ah Bing, warning him not to fire recklessly, while the suspect uses the teacher as a shield. Ah Bing suggests using sleeping gas, but the captain refuses, saying it is too risky. The gas would not act quickly enough to stop the suspect from striking. Suddenly, a pebble hits the hostage-taker's hand. He howls in pain, drops the knife, and loses his grip on the teacher. The captain seizes the chance, and officers rush forward to tackle the suspect. Shackles snap on, while a female officer rushes to steady the trembling teacher. With the situation under control, he quietly climbs back onto his bike. Shen Qinghan stares with wide eyes, whispering, asking if he threw the rock. He tells her to stay quiet as he pedals away, but a firm voice from the police captain stops them in their tracks. The captain asks if he was the one who threw the stone. Panicked, he gives a nervous smile and quickly denies any involvement. The captain watches them leave, wondering why anyone would refuse credit for a heroic act. He mutters that there is even a reward for such bravery. Mention of a reward hits him like a bolt of lightning. He skids to a sudden halt, spins around, and rushes back to the captain. He drops his denial, admitting he was responsible, explaining straight-faced that the reward money is very important to him. The captain tells him to go to the station later to file a report, promising to make sure he gets the reward he deserves. The group heads to the police station. He assumes everything will be simple from there, but then everything goes horribly wrong. As the police lead the suspect away in handcuffs, his body suddenly convulses. His face twists grotesquely, bone and flesh warping, and horrified officers realize the truth: he is a heretic. The captain orders his team to open fire on the aberrant rat, demanding they protect civilians at all costs. Gunfire erupts in a deafening hail, but bullets bounce uselessly off the beast's thick hide. Those bullets must have been made of cardboard. A frantic report crackles in. The heretic has fused with Rat King genes, and backup is requested immediately. Seeing the chaos, Lin Zichen grabs his companion's hand and pulls her to run. He feels relieved the mutant is not chasing them, but knows they need to put distance between themselves and the battlefield as fast as possible. Suddenly, a streak of light wrapped in a purple aura dives down from above. A female cyborg in futuristic armor slams a devastating blow into the giant rat. The impact knocks the beast staggering backward, sending dust and rubble scattering. Hovering effortlessly, the cyborg lifts her head as a brilliant laser cannon begins to charge. The purple light grows brighter each second. Her voice is sharp and commanding as she orders fire. The cannon releases a massive beam of pure energy, engulfing the mutant rat completely. That's some serious firepower. With a final roar, it disintegrates, leaving only scorched ash. Lin Zichen stands frozen, having just witnessed power on a scale he could barely imagine. With the giant rat gone, the danger finally passes. Teacher Cao Mei and Shen Qinghan exhale long, shaky breaths of relief. He, however, has a very different concern. His eyes dart to his bike, and he sighs in relief when he sees it is untouched. If the blast had destroyed it, that would have been a huge financial loss. But as the tension eases, another realization hits him. His gaze shifts to the basket. The ghost shadow squid packages have started to rot, sinking his heart. His theory was right. Absorbing life essence makes beast meat spoil, though not instantly. Without missing a beat, he puts on a dramatic performance. He tosses the spoiled meat onto the ground and loudly blames the heretic and the cyborg's blast for ruining it. Teacher Kao Mei gently comforts him, reminding him that what truly matters is that everyone made it out alive. At the police captain's request, they are escorted to the station with the security team. What they did not expect was to ride in the same van as the heretic's remains. On a gurney lies a mound of scorched flesh, blackened and stinking. He sits silently as a bold possibility flashes in his mind. If the fangs held power, could this corpse still contain life essence? Could he claim the Rat King gene for himself? He examines the remains and discreetly absorbs a fragment of the mutant's essence. He quickly realizes the fresher the corpse, the stronger the essence. He tries to act natural, but the security captain grows suspicious. Later, he is summoned to the public security office. While the captain has filed for his bravery award, His real concern is how a mere student could throw a stone so precisely to disarm the heretic. He claims he simply trains his right hand often, but the captain remains doubtful even if he does not say it aloud. The meeting continues. Han Han enters the room with Xiao Chen's worried parents. The mother rushes over, relieved to see her son is safe. She insists that if danger returns, he must hide rather than fight. Xiao Chen promises to listen, though he knows deep down it might not be possible. As he prepares to leave, he overhears public security officers discussing the rat god cult. The authorities reveal the group is getting bolder, even infiltrating universities to prey on students barred from legal gene fusion. Secret societies, huh? Sounds like a plot twist straight out of a thriller. Shockingly, the heretic killed that night was once a liberal arts student who was corrupted and recruited. It is clear that eliminating individual followers is not enough. The real threat comes from the Rat King. Until that entity is destroyed, the danger will persist. The name lodges in Xiao Chen's mind. On the ride home, he searches for information. Reports indicate the rat god cult is most active in Shanghai, made up largely of societal outcasts. Cult activity has surged lately, leading to suspicions that the Rat King is amassing a massive collection of evolutionary resources. An intelligent Rat King could unleash a catastrophe beyond simple chaos. Staring out the window, Xiao Chen spots a massive rat cornering a cat on the street. Talk about a wild sight. He wonders if it is tied to the Rat King, but reminds himself that oversized rats are common in the South. Han Han sits unusually silent beside him. Her emotions are usually obvious, yet now she is unreadable. When they reach home, the mother immediately notices the missing meat. Xiao Chen explains he dropped it during the chaos, being too preoccupied with survival. She accepts the story, but the father insists on searching for the lost food. He calmly convinces his father that the meat would be spoiled by now. Meanwhile, the security captain remains uneasy about Lin Zichen's lethal accuracy. Suddenly, a giant rat appears. The captain sharpens his instincts, aims his weapon, and fires a bullet at the creature. The next morning, Lin Zichen sits in class reflecting on the fierce battle. Facing the heretic, and the cyborg showed him how much he must grow. He needs resources like ghost shadow squid to advance his progress. He dismisses ideas like becoming an influencer, realizing martial arts and gene fusion are the best paths. That afternoon, Lin visits the Building C training hall and finds Coach Guo. He asks if the team participates in citywide tournaments with cash prizes. Coach Guo confirms that prizes can reach tens of thousands. Lin immediately decides to join, and the coach introduces the former sports champion to the rest of the team. Team members step forward to greet him one by one, including Zhang Kai, Huang Tianxing, Li Shudong, and Han Yisuo. He returns their introductions with a polite nod. Since he has no prior formal training, Coach Guo starts with the fundamentals, demonstrating basic fist and leg techniques. The coach explains that while these moves look simple, mastering them requires patience and discipline. The coach notes that even their quickest learner, Li Shudong, needed a full week to perform them correctly. Turning to him, the coach encourages him to give it a try. He positions himself confidently. All of a sudden, his hidden well of wisdom ignited, giving him crystal clear insight. Just by watching, he had already soaked up every tiny detail of the techniques. When he began the techniques, a mental ping announced that he had earned points for vitality, strength, dexterity, and skill. The coach and the entire team froze, eyes glued to him. They had expected clumsy rookie attempts, but instead saw flawless, almost professional execution. The boy moved as if he had been training for years. Coach Guo was so shocked his jaw nearly hit the floor, and his grip on his thermos slipped. One thought raced through the coach's mind. This was no ordinary student, but a martial arts prodigy who appears only once in a million. That evening at home in Shanghai, his mother called him to the dinner table. He grabbed a spoon eagerly and hurried over, asking what she had cooked. Dinner surprise. Proudly, she placed a steaming platter of ghost shadow squid on the table, exactly the dish he had been craving. He inhaled the amazing aroma and praised it. His mother urged him to eat before it cooled, and he declared her cooking the best in the world. While enjoying the meal, a mental notification popped up. He had absorbed a hint of the squid's life essence, advancing his guidebook progress. As they ate, the TV displayed a news report about a 14-year-old girl being unveiled as the youngest cyborg in history. After merging with an energy core, she gained superhuman powers, such as lifting a vehicle with one hand and sprinting 100 meters in 3 seconds. While watching the report, he considered the debate between gene fusion and cybernetic upgrades, but a breaking news alert cut him off. The anchor announced that Captain Chun Shan, the officer from the earlier encounter, had been found dead in his office. Security footage showed a huge mutant rat sneaking into the station and killing him. His stomach turned as he remembered the rat he had seen the night before. The idea of monsters roaming the city gave him a chill. He swore to train harder than ever to face the dangers ahead. His speed exploded, soon covering 100 meters in just 4 seconds. His strength surged, letting him hoist 1,200 kilograms. The next morning, he went to the gym for practice, with the curious Kinghen following him. On the way, a pink-haired girl approached with a warm smile, offering him a cold bottle of fresh milk. He thanked her politely but turned it down. From afar, Zhang Kai watched tensely, noting that the boy who had beaten him had just refused the drink. The girl Zhang Kai admired had once been close to Lin Zichen, but Zhang Kai later confronted him sharply, accusing him of being rude and hurting her feelings. What drama? Lin Zichen replied calmly, saying he was allergic to milk. Undeterred, Zhang Kai challenged him to a sparring match, promising to leave him alone forever if he lost. Intense. However, if Lin Zichen lost, he would have to chug an entire bottle of milk. Just as the challenge was issued, a system notification flashed before his eyes. A new achievement mission appeared. He needed to defeat 1,000 different opponents in formal competition to unlock the survival of the fittest biological trait. News of the duel spread fast. By the time they arrived at the gym, it was already packed with students forming a wide circle around the sparring area. Most of the crowd cheered for Lin Zichen, especially the girls who liked him. Zhang Kai scowled at the clear favoritism, seeing this as his last shot to regain his pride. Lin Zichen stood relaxed and said he needed to get home for dinner, asking if they could finish quickly. Zhang Kai took it as mockery and vowed to make the fight swift. Dinner plans can wait for a showdown. Coach Gyu stepped between them to referee. He raised his hand and reminded them of the rules, but Zhang Kai suddenly shouted for everyone to stop. He argued that he had trained for almost 2 years, so to be fair, he would give Lin Zichen the first 3 moves. The moment he finished speaking, Lin Zichen unleashed a single devastating punch. The blow landed cleanly, and Zhang Kai went limp. Blood spewed from Zhang Kai's nose as he collapsed unconscious onto the floor. Coach Gyu stood frozen, unable to believe the fight ended with a single punch. The silence shattered into cheers. Shen Xinghen threw her fist into the air, and the other girls shouted how amazing the performance was. Lin Zichen's vision flickered with a notification. He had earned priority mating rights, and his mission progress rose to 1 out of 1,000. When he invited others to spar with him, their faces turned pale. Suddenly, Zhang Kai groaned, forced himself onto his knees, and refused to accept defeat. Coach Gyu firmly told Zhang Kai to accept the loss like a man. Still, the coach wondered whether that crushing punch had been pure luck. To test his theory, the coach turned to another student. 10 minutes later, several martial arts team members lay unconscious on the gym floor. Lin Zichen stood calmly, but his expression dropped when he saw his rival count stayed at 1. Suddenly, a heavy hand clapped his shoulder as Coach Gyu beamed with excitement. The coach called him a once-in-a-generation genius and the new ace of the team. With him leading, they would claim first place at the regional tournament. As he processed this, Zhang Kai staggered to his feet and loudly proclaimed his surrender. The coach and the remaining students then quickly left the gym. Shen Qinghen made a life-changing decision to join the martial arts track. She began training side by side with him, pushing her limits each day. After their intense sessions, he would help her recover with a massage to ease muscle strain. It was hard work, but their bond grew stronger with every punch and kick. Teamwork makes the dream work. A month of relentless training passed, and the regional martial arts tournament finally arrived. Lin Zichen stood ready, but the atmosphere in the city gymnasium was tense. Coach Gyu lamented Shanghai High's bad luck after drawing the strongest group right away. While the teammates felt doomed, one reminded them of a secret weapon, the boy who can run 100 meters in under 9 seconds. Zichen volunteered to go first, and Gyu agreed, urging him forward with confidence. On stage, his opponent, a tall, muscular boy, mocked him for being a short first-year student. The bully bragged that size and power always win. As the duel began, the boy charged with heavy steps and threw a punch, but the protagonist slipped aside with blinding speed. He landed a clean strike to the opponent's ribs, sending the muscular boy crashing across the stage in an instant defeat. The announcer declared him the winner as Shen Qinghen cheered loudly from the stands. Across the arena, the opposing coach scolded his fighters for ignoring his footwork instructions. Meanwhile, a notification appeared before him, confirming his victory and an improved tournament ranking. What a knockout! The opposing coach quickly sent out Chen Feng to deal with him, but the result was the same. Zichen easily dodged a sweeping kick and countered with a strike to the hip, sending Feng away on a stretcher. The crowd went wild debating whether this was talent or luck. The opposing coach knew the truth and called up his next fighter, Gao Fei, who entered the stage, sizing up the protagonist's slim build. Gao felt certain his superior stats and gene fusion pedigree would give him an easy win. He unleashed his flowing water rock-shattering fist, but the protagonist dodged every attack with total ease. Gao grew frustrated and ignored his coach's advice to defend. When he finally overextended, the protagonist delivered a sweeping kick that sent Gao flying backward to the ground. In the following days, he dominated more battles and secured the championship for Shanghai High. Coach Guo proudly lifted the gleaming trophy as the team celebrated their victory. By the end of his second year, he broke through to Tier 4, becoming strong enough to lift massive boulders with one hand. At graduation, he walked beside Shen Qinghen, who felt discouraged by her own results. Knowing she could not join him in the elite class, she began to cry. He gently comforted her, quietly mentioning that the school principal would soon visit his home to discuss her future. She will accompany him, though Qinghen remains upset, insisting that the principal only wants to persuade him to stay in the martial arts class and that her presence is unnecessary. He firmly declares that his only condition for staying is simple. Shen Qinghen must be his deskmate. True to her word, the principal of Shanghai High arrives at his home to meet his mother and Han Han. The three of them spend hours discussing his future. As the meeting ends, the principal turns with one final offer. If he agrees to stay, she will grant him any request he desires. Seizing the chance, he makes his condition clear. Han Han must stay in the same class as him. The principal agrees and tells them both to report to Shanghai High together for the upcoming school year. Overjoyed, he and Han Han bow in gratitude. Before moving on, he competes in his final junior high martial arts tournament, where his dominance leads the team to another championship victory. He knows exactly how to spend the prize money. His Ghost Shadow Squid Codex is only 20% complete, and the winnings are just enough to finish the task. Seeking privacy, he heads deep into a secluded forest outside Shanghai and consumes the final essence from the squid meat. His system chimes, confirming he is absorbing life force. Nature's secret kitchen. The Codex bar finally reaches 100% and locks. A new notification appears, telling him he has gained a new biological attribute, the blessing of liquid affinity. This ability gives him a heightened connection with water. However, as the energy fades, he stands silently, feeling the result is a bit underwhelming given all the effort involved. He decides to test the power at a nearby pond and steps into the water. To his surprise, his skin does not wrinkle no matter how long he stays submerged, and swimming feels almost effortless with reduced resistance. He realizes the ghost shadow squid was only a low-tier beast. If he wants stronger attributes, he must either save money for higher-grade meat or become powerful enough to hunt dangerous mutant beasts himself. Later, his mother and Han Han's family plan a short trip to help him test his new affinity, and he suggests they head to the beach. While Han Han shivers in the surf, he feels perfectly at home. As he swims, the system rewards him with stat points for his skills. From the shore, a nervous Han Han asks him to teach her how to swim, so he waves her over to begin guiding her step by step. Pool lessons upgraded. He assumes she will struggle because of her average athletic ability, but she adapts instantly. She dives on her own as if she has known how to swim all along, and a faint blue aura begins to shimmer around her. Han Han exclaims that the sensation is amazing, leaving him deep in thought. No one should master these skills so quickly, and he wonders if her childhood struggles were actually a hidden sign of an innate water affinity. Determined to test his theory, they continue diving. The results are astonishing as she holds her breath for over 10 minutes, but her expression suddenly shifts as a strange vibration echoes through the water. The young woman cries out as glowing blue water swirls around her. That night, the two of them walk quietly along the moonlit beach while she remains visibly shaken by the experience. He asks what happened, and she explains that she heard a mysterious female voice whispering in an unknown language. After she falls asleep, he searches online for any clues about this unsettling phenomenon. He channels his restless energy into training. He begins a grueling set of weighted sit-ups, performing one after another until he finishes his routine. After completing 1,000 repetitions, a system notification appears. His hard work has finally paid off, and he has advanced to ordinary Tier 5. At Tier 5, he realizes he now possesses the power to rival a fully grown giant mutant rat. Eager to test his new limits, he heads back to the empty beach under the stars. Testing his strength, he grabs a nearby parked car and lifts the whole vehicle with one hand. Soon enough, the vacation comes to an end. He and Han Han officially begin their journey at Shanghai High. On the very first day, two new female classmates immediately recognize him, feeling lucky to be assigned to his class. What shocks him even more is the next event. Simply performing his class duties triggers a brand new system quest. The requirement is to complete 1,000 cooperative tasks to unlock a new biological attribute called social animal. After school, with the new year just beginning, he makes a trip to the massive supermarket. While wandering through the chilled beast meat section, he suddenly stops. His eyes fix on a package in the refrigerated display containing the severed head of a savage giant eagle. He is certain this will be his next codex. Eagle-eyed choice. The savage giant eagle ranks above the ghost shadow squid as a higher-level aberrant beast. Back in his room, he studies the eagle meat carefully. The price makes it even more appealing, as it is only 1,900 yuan, surprisingly affordable compared to other beasts. He places his hand on the meat, and the system confirms success. He has absorbed a trace of the eagle's life essence. To fully complete the codex, he would need to spend more than 200,000 yuan. If he wants to unlock the savage giant eagle's codex before his second year, he must win the prize money. On the first day of school, the teachers introduce themselves in a line. After they finish, the group of students begins sharing about themselves. First, Chu Zixi boasts about her strength in the arts. Then, a lively girl named Zhang enthusiastically talks about her love for anime, cosplay, and sports. Sounds like a vibrant club. Peng Huaguang casually mentions that he enjoys playing video games at home. When it is Han Han's turn, all eyes turn to her, making her feel very nervous. Finally, he gives a brief introduction, simply stating his name and asking for his classmates' support. After class, a new brown-haired student approaches Han Han. The sudden encounter startles her, but the girl quickly asks about her entrance exam score. Han Han nervously admits her score was 709, and then she politely asks the new girl, Chu Zui, about her own results. Chu Zui looks impressed and blurts out that Han Han's score is over 10 points higher than her own 698. Chu Zui quickly shifts the topic to the physical fitness test. Han Han stutters while trying to dodge the question because her score was actually quite low. She barely made it into the elite class, so saying it aloud feels humiliating. However, Chu Zui does not notice her discomfort. Han Han lowers her gaze, but Chu Zui keeps tossing out guesses in the low 90s, making the embarrassment even worse. Suddenly, a hand slams against the desk between them. It is he. Calmly, he leans closer and asks Han Han if she would add him on WeChat. The sudden attention from such a handsome boy leaves her stunned, but she nods eagerly. Han Han exhales in relief as the awkward moment finally breaks. She silently thanks him for stepping in. Without missing a beat, he turns to another classmate and casually asks to exchange contact details. Once they are connected, he creates a 4-person group chat. The system immediately notifies him that he has completed a task and his progress toward the achievement ticks up. The group begins chatting. He explains that he is from Neoan City, where his family runs a respected martial arts dojo. The female classmate comes from a wealthy background. Her family owns a successful chain of clothing stores. She, along with her classmates Shen and Lin, eventually begin sharing their personal histories with one another. Who says martial arts and fashion can't mix? Soon the 4 start to feel like real friends as the classroom brightens. Hayu playfully asks everyone which student they think is the strongest in their grade. Shusishi instantly points to Lin Zichen, mentioning his top rank in the district entrance exam. Hayu looks impressed, but Lin calmly reminds the class that a high test score does not automatically make someone the strongest. Lin then shares a surprising fact. The principal personally recruited 2 exceptional students from Neoan City. The first is a blonde boy named Wang, who placed 3rd in the city and can sprint 100 meters in just 7 seconds. The second recruit is Lu Gang, a towering and incredibly strong student who can lift a 300-kilogram barbell with one hand. Though those abilities sound intimidating, he remains unfazed because he already knows he has surpassed that level of power. When the bell rings for textbook distribution, the class learns that the curriculum includes martial arts, gene fusion, mechanical modification, and wilderness survival. Having already mastered these subjects on his own, he decides to slip away and train in private. While training, his thoughts drift to the dangers outside school, especially the rat god cult. Although authorities have captured some low-level members, the Rat King remains at large. He is determined to reach Tier 6 strength as quickly as possible to confront the threat. The first practical lesson is wilderness survival. Teacher Zai Chungbei challenges the students to start a fire using wood. Hayu scoffs, but Wang and Lu Gang step up and succeed, impressing the rest of the class. Lu Gang learned the skill at a summer camp, while Wang says he picked it up from watching videos. Meanwhile, he quietly teaches his own group the technique, guiding them until they succeed easily. Next comes martial arts class, where instructor Yao Yunfeng introduces a special breathing and cultivation technique. Wang and Lu Gang demonstrate sloppy but functional versions of the move. Although he has mastered it perfectly, he chooses to keep his skills hidden. During mechanical modification class, the teacher announces a practical test with cash prizes. He estimates that first place would provide enough money to buy half a portion of savage giant eagle meat, which motivates everyone to work hard. The gene fusion teacher surprises them with another test offering the same cash prizes. After the grueling exams, the class is completely exhausted. Hayu groans at his desk while several classmates complain about the difficulty. Wang and Lu Gang boast confidently about their expected high scores, which irritates Hayu. The teacher then announces the results for the mechanical augmentation test. Guo Yanling scores 52 points, while Han Han barely passes with 61 points. Hayu earns 88 points, securing 3rd place and humbly promises to treat his friends with the prize money. Lu Gang and Wang Shuji both score 95 points, arrogantly claiming they could have finished the final problem with more time. The teacher then reveals the top scorer is Lin Zichen with a perfect 100. Lu Gang and Wang Shuji are stunned by the result. Even Hayu admits he is on another level, while Han Han proudly calls him the pride of the city. After winning the first test, Lin Zichen ignores the praise and asks about his prize money. Later, the gene fusion results are released. Lu Gang scores 81 points and Wang Shuji scores 83 points, while Han Han makes the top 5 with 78 points. Once again, he shocks everyone with a perfect score. This repeated success devastates his rivals, shaking their confidence so much that Lu and Wang accuse him of having prior knowledge of the answers. The teacher firmly shuts down the cheating accusations. He explains that he wrote all the exam questions himself, making it impossible for anyone to have stolen the answers. This causes the rest of the classmates to mock the accusers for their poor sportsmanship. Hayu and his friend ridicule the pair for embarrassing Nanyuan City. After lunch, the attention shifts to the wilderness survival exam, which includes climbing, swimming, and fire making. Determined to reclaim their pride, Wang and Lu Gang vow to defeat him, but he easily dominates the climbing events with superior strength and speed. Meanwhile, he quietly worries about Han Han, who struggles with climbing and finishes last. However, he trusts that she will shine during the swimming round. Looks like someone needs a swim lesson. In the fire-making challenge, he astounds everyone by producing flames in just 58 seconds, leaving Wang Shuji and Lu Gang speechless. That was blazing fast. During the swimming event, Han Han performs exceptionally well, effortlessly defeating the Nanyuan duo and further shattering their confidence. By the end of the wilderness survival exam, Wang and Lu Gang are silent and humiliated. However, when Teacher Yao announces the final martial arts sparring competition, their spirits revive. They see it as their last chance to redeem themselves and prove that his success means nothing without combat strength. Before sparring, Teacher Yao has the class complete warm-up tests. These tests include a 100-meter sprint, a one-hand barbell lift, and a vertical jump. Even while holding back, he dominates the competition. He runs 7.78 seconds, lifts 330 kilograms with one hand, and jumps 2.18 meters, placing first in every event. The results leave Wang Shuji and Lu Gang rattled, but they reassure themselves that combat skill matters more in sparring. When the matches begin, no one dares face him. Teacher Yao is forced to assign Lu Wei. The fight ends instantly with one devastating punch, after which he easily defeats the rest of his classmates. Wang Shuji and Lu Gang are shaken, realizing he likely held back during earlier tests. The gap feels insurmountable. Suddenly, Hayu steps forward and challenges Lu Gang. Eager to vent his frustration, Lu Gang accepts confidently, boasting he will win within 30 seconds. The fight begins with Hayu charging fiercely, but the strength gap is too great. Lu Gang easily overpowers him, catching his kick and tossing him brutally out of the ring. Hayu lies defeated, coughing, and in pain. After the bout, he smugly acknowledges Hayu's skill while declaring his own superiority. He then steps forward to challenge Lu Gang, who accepts while still riding his victory. Lu Gang is dispatched instantly by his speed and precision, knocked out of the ring with a single strike. Attention then shifts to Wang Shuji. The crowd jeers and mocks him, claiming the pride of Nanyuan rests on him alone. Irritated and cornered, Wang Shuji silences them and declares he was going to fight anyway. He steps into the ring to face him, steeling himself despite the overwhelming odds. Wang Shuji charges with all his strength, but his punch is effortlessly caught. He knocks him out with a single counter, leaving him unconscious on the gym floor. He proceeds to defeat every other boy in the class just as easily. When he checks his system, he notices his achievement bar is not full. To fill it, he must now face the girls in his class. To his surprise, they eagerly volunteer. The first challenger attacks swiftly, but she cannot land a hit before he smoothly dodges and ends the bout. The other girls take their turns, but he defeats them all effortlessly without hurting anyone. Even after beating everyone, his achievement bar is still not filled. The teacher, Hao Yuanfang, announces that in 1 month the class will participate in a sparring match against the top second-year regular class. Sounds like a big showdown soon. He feels a rush of excitement, as this provides the perfect chance to advance. After the announcement, Lu Gang admits he was wrong about him and vows to become a rival for the next 3 years. While Wang Shuji swears to get revenge, he ignores the drama and focuses on the rewards. Having earned over 3,000 yuan in bonuses, he is eager to purchase more beast meat to gain strength. Back at the dorm, a review of personal finances reveals the funds are insufficient. To earn extra income, he follows his family's footsteps and starts writing web novels. The writing is a hit, leading to an official contract with the platform within a day. However, a news headline about a 5-meter-long mutant rat attacking a facility serves as a grim reality check for the world they live in. He wonders how many more monsters are hidden in the city. Days later, the long-awaited sparring session between the elite class and the strongest second-year regular class begins. Inside the 10th gymnasium, Hao Yuanfang warns the students that the opposing class is a serious threat. The instruction is simple: end the fights quickly and do not allow the enemy time to recover. Determined to progress, he rushes to be the first to fight. The opponent is a tall blonde girl who feels it is unfair to face the strongest elite fighter first since she is the weakest in her own class. Teacher Hao confronts the opposing instructor for breaking the unwritten rule of starting with the weakest members. He orders him to step down and saves him for later matches. Hanhin volunteers to go first despite her nerves. Facing the aggressive blonde opponent, she adopts a defensive strategy to endure and block until the enemy tires. The blonde eventually lands a heavy blow, knocking Hanhin down and ending the match. Even though she lost, her tactical endurance earns the respect of the teacher and her classmates. He offers a gentle pat to comfort the embarrassed Hanhin. Next, a brown-haired girl steps up to capitalize on the blonde fighter's fatigue, but her reckless assault backfires. The blonde mocks the elite class for their perceived arrogance. Chuckson steps forward to restore their pride and ends the match against the senior opponent with a single massive punch. As the session continues, he reminds an excited Hanhin that her earlier effort played a key role in weakening their opponent for Chuckson to take the win. The elite class manages to even the score. Teacher Hao Yuanfang confidently tells the second-year instructor that his rival's class only has 4 fighters remaining. However, he quickly cautions his students not to relax, because the real battle is just beginning. Their strongest 4, Lin Zichen, Wang Shuji, Lu Gang, and Haiyu, are now up. Haiyu goes first, leaning forward with a smirk as he prepares to engage. Haiyu taunts his opponent before launching a lightning-fast kick that knocks the senior out instantly. Another opponent steps up who is much stronger this time, but Haiyu defeats him just as easily. He remains dominant on the floor. Energized by cheers from Chuckson and Hanhin, he continues his rampage and wins 5 matches in a row. Exhausted yet defiant, he shouts that he can still take on 10 more. However, fatigue catches up to him, and he is finally defeated in his 6th duel. Even heroes need a nap. With Haiyu down, the elite class has only 3 fighters remaining against 13 opponents. Next comes Wang Shuji, who fights with incredible speed and power. His fists and kicks strike like lightning as he tears through 10 opponents in succession. By his 11th match, exhaustion slows him down and he is eventually overpowered. Then Lu Gang enters the fray. He defeats 2 of the top fighters from the regular classes in under 10 minutes, restoring hope to the team. Now only 1 second-year fighter remains. Teacher Hao taunts the second-year teacher to surrender, but Feng replies that his last student has not fought yet. A towering figure steps forward, shaking the arena with his size as the massive Wang Jinhai steps into the ring. Feng reveals that Wang is a new transfer student and his hidden trump card. Feeling anxious, Hao encourages Lin Zichen to do his best. Lin calmly replies that he will win for sure. Facing the giant, he endures the mockery of the senior who offers him 10 free hits. Lin accepts the challenge. The moment Wang finishes speaking, he strikes. His fist blurs through the air and slams into the giant's gut with explosive force. The massive fighter is lifted off the ground and thrown backward, crashing to the floor as the gym falls silent. A moment later, the elite class erupts in cheers. Standing tall and composed, Lin Zichen wins. After this shocking one-punch victory, the second-year teacher approaches Hao Yuanfang to praise the student's overwhelming strength. The teacher compares him to a legendary former student named Wu Tiancheng. Hao smiles but corrects him, saying that while Lin is gifted, he is still far from that level. Hao explains that Wu was a legend who defeated the entire third-year elite class when he was only a first-year student. His feats were superhuman. Wu could run a 100-meter dash in 6 seconds and lift 650 kilograms with one hand. Lin listens, intrigued but unimpressed. He quietly thinks those numbers only matched his own childhood strength. That evening, the elite class celebrates their victory at a restaurant. Hao Yuanfang proudly raises a toast, announcing that the second-year teacher must pay for the meal because of their loss. The students cheer and surround Lin, bombarding him with questions about his training. Slightly uncomfortable with the attention, Lin notices Han quietly taking care of him. She places food on his plate as she always does. When he catches her eye and smiles, she panics and rushes to the restroom. In the restroom, 2 classmates gossip about her. They mock her for acting like a servant and claim she only made it into the elite class because of him. Hidden nearby, Han overhears everything. Instead of running away, she steps out and confronts them, declaring firmly that she is the childhood friend of Lin Zichen. The girls are stunned into silence by her courage. Later, as the two walk home under the dim streetlights, he notices her unusually quiet demeanor. Awkward silence, huh? When he asks what is wrong, she hesitates before confessing her deepest secret. She explains that she still suffers from bedwetting and must wear diapers to bed. Feeling ashamed, she calls herself broken. Lin gently reassures her by placing his hands on her shoulders. He places his hand on her shoulders and tells her she is not broken at all. He explains that her weakness might actually be a power that has not awakened yet. Surprised, Han asks if he truly believes that. He smiles and confirms it, adding that he has a superpower too. Encouraged by his words, Han wonders what her ability could be. He assures her it will definitely be something extraordinary. Before they can continue their conversation, their path is blocked by a cordoned-off street where exterminators in protective suits are clearing out rats. A man in an apron frantically tries to stop them, shouting for the officers not to harm those he calls his brothers. His voice breaks as he attacks the team in a frenzy. Han is horrified and asks if the man is insane. He nods slightly, saying the man must be unstable, though it is still a tragic sight. He suggests they head home. That night, he sits with his parents watching the news. The report announces that a young female teacher who went missing last week still has not been found. This marks the 5th disappearance this month. The women shown in the reports are all young and beautiful, their identities obscured by privacy bars on the screen. His worried mother urges him to make sure Han never walks home alone, and he promises he will protect her. Meanwhile, at the Shanghai City Public Security Office, the man who attacked the exterminators is being held in custody. A police officer and a doctor observe him through the glass. The officer wonders if the man is insane, but the doctor is not sure. He has not spoken a single word since being detained. Suddenly, the man inside begins trembling violently. A dark aura seeps from his body as his form starts to mutate. Within moments, the man transforms into a monstrous rat-like creature with glowing red eyes. Terrified, the officer grabs his radio and screams for reinforcements. Before help can arrive, the room fills with the sound of shattering glass. The monstrous aberrant rat ramps through the city, totally unaffected by gunfire. Police bullets barely affect its massive body, and the officers are forced to retreat under orders to lure it away from the city center. With all cyborg units occupied elsewhere, reinforcements are still 10 minutes away, far too long to survive a direct confrontation. A female officer speeds off in a police van with the beast in pursuit as it bounds across the rooftops. The van races up a mountain road and into a tunnel. The rat catches up and slams into the vehicle, flipping it violently. Dazed and bleeding, the officer prepares for the end until a blurring explosion lights up the tunnel. Wow, talk about a dramatic finish. A cyborg woman with short purple hair and shiny armor swoops down from the smoke. She fires a storm of violet missiles that fill the tunnel and make the ground tremble. When the flames die down, the creature is gone. The cyborg remarks that the beast must be wounded because it could not have run very far. Hours later, under Shanghai's neon skyline at 3 a.m., Lin Zichen relaxes in his apartment. He is not training at the moment, he is writing. After 2 weeks of nonstop effort, His web novel is nearing 200,000 words, and he has already earned more than 10,000 yuan. Excited but restless, he closes his laptop and heads out to train. He slips into an empty alley to test his abilities. His powers have surpassed normal human limits and are nearing superhuman, when a strange sound snaps his focus. From the darkness, he spots a twisted, humanoid rat hunched over, gnawing a human arm. The creature freezes, eyes wide with terror as it sees him. The rat pleads, saying it was simply starving. He recalls a news story about a mutant rat that escaped a lab. This could be the same creature. He knows he should call the police, but when he steps forward, the rat panics and lets out a shriek, completely misreading his intentions. Just as the monster lunges, its body blurs with unnatural speed, but he reacts instantly. His leg snaps out, striking the creature squarely in the jaw with a thunderous blow that sends the mouse man crashing to the ground. The beast lies stunned, bewildered by the sheer force of a student's kick. Before it can rise, he hurls a rock, then another, and soon dozens of stones are flying through the air. Each stone lands with lethal precision, shredding the monster like bullets until its body finally breaks and it collapses in complete silence. He stares at the once living creature, a chill running through him as the reality sinks in. His power has far outpaced human limits. He did not just kill the monster, he erased it. He crouches beside the remains and reaches out to touch the bones. The instant his fingers touch, a surge of blue energy courses through him. His system pings, indicating he has absorbed a fragment of a giant mutant rat's life source. He frowns, seeing his stats rise by only 2%, remembering that the previous creature had granted him 5%. He realizes each heretic carries a different amount of the Rat King's genetic essence, which explains why this absorption was weaker. Looks like the Rat King is stingy today. As the lights fade, he decides not to linger and slips out of the alley. Moments later, a purple-haired cyborg woman drops down from above. What a dramatic exit. She surveys the smoking wreckage, wondering who could have caused it. Elsewhere, in a crumbling building bathed in red light, hooded cultists chant around a glowing circle. A cultist drags an unconscious woman to the center, offering her to their deity. A deep voice echoes from the darkness as the rat god appears, angry that only one sacrifice was offered. The terrified cultist pleads for mercy, explaining that the city's women have become too cautious to capture. The monster snarls, ordering him to capture young men instead. As a reward for obedience, the rat god drops a slab of raw meat before him. The cultist devours the meat greedily while the summoning circle flares. Crimson tentacles rise, hoisting the woman into the air. A massive mouth yawns in the shadows, swallowing her whole in a single dreadful bite. The rat god demands future sacrifices be of noble blood, saying their flesh is softer and richer in flavor. The trembling cultists bow to the darkness. Unaware of the horrors, he returns to his daily routine. To help Han with her martial arts, he begins private lessons at her home. As a disciplined yet patient teacher, he carefully corrects her form and guides her stance. When she attacks with renewed confidence, he easily intercepts her strikes, praising her progress. After the intense session, Han collapses, breathless but smiling, feeling stronger than ever. She wants to train daily, but he refuses, warning that overtraining could harm her body. Their quiet moment is broken as his phone buzzes with two major headlines. One headline says a corporation is offering free treatment for crippled mechanical prodigies. The other reports a genius achieving dual gene fusion at the youngest age ever recorded. The news shocks him, reminding him of the prodigy he is often compared to. He wonders whether merging foreign genes is truly the ultimate path to power. He has fully embraced his new life as a web novelist, devoting all his focus to his writing career. His incredible typing speed and rapid storytelling soon attract massive online attention, as he easily types 10,000 words per hour. He was amazed at how much he could write in such a short time, managing to release 50,000 words on his very first day. This success stemmed from his advanced ability and a celestial root of wisdom, gifts that let him steadily improve his mental processing and hand coordination. Talk about a brain upgrade. After a month of practice, his typing speed reached 10,000 words per hour, meaning he only needed to write roughly an hour each day. Talk about efficiency. He spent the rest of his time on cultivation and martial training, achieving a perfect balance between his pursuits. His father felt deeply proud. Seeing the novel's rising popularity, his father estimated Lin could earn about 50,000 yen in his first month, possibly doubling that with consistent work. This prediction motivated Lin. He began planning to use the earnings to unlock the exotic beast codex, aiming first for the savage giant eagle codex. In the following weeks, Lin kept training in his martial arts class. Under instructor Hao, the students took part in a sparring session to gauge their progress. Lin's performance was unmatched. His techniques were swift, precise, and overwhelming, defeating every opponent before they could even react. His dominance in the ring earned him 88 bucks in prize money and valuable progress toward his survival of the fittest achievement. Among the other students, Han still struggled but showed clear improvement. Earlier, she was beaten in seconds by weaker classmates. This time, she held her own for several minutes and landed a few strikes. Her growth earned quiet recognition from the instructor. After sparring ended, Hao announced that their class would face the second-year elite class in a month, with the goal to defeat everyone except the top 3 fighters. The challenge energized the students, filling the atmosphere with anticipation. Meanwhile, Lin's web novel continued to skyrocket in popularity. By month's end, the book earned 89,000 bucks. With that success, Lin decided to finally buy beast meat for cultivation. At the supermarket, he asked about savage giant eagle meat. The clerk mentioned a discount for bulk orders over 100 jin. He realized he could save more by waiting another month to buy in bulk, so he postponed the purchase until he had enough funds. The next day at school, Lin and Han went to the cafeteria to try the newly opened stir-fry counter. The rich aroma of food filled the air as chefs worked quickly. They managed to snag a table before a long line formed. The atmosphere was lively until a sudden argument erupted between 2 students over cutting in line. The dispute quickly escalated as more students joined. Lin watched calmly from his seat, assessing the scene before stepping in. He settled the issue with quiet authority. Meanwhile, a very different meeting unfolded in a luxurious villa in Shanghai. The rat god cult gathered in secrecy to discuss recent events. Their leader reported that one member had lost control in public and was slain by security forces. The leader then introduced a new recruit and announced a shift in the cult's goals. Under the new orders, the cult will focus on capturing noble elites. Looks like they are upgrading their shopping list. The rat god now demanded higher quality offerings. Some members objected, fearing that targeting nobles was too risky, so the leader proposed a compromise. Target practice. The plan is to target the sons of wealthy yet politically powerless merchants, minimizing risk while satisfying the god's demands. The meeting ends with the leader assigning the new recruit a test mission. Capture a handsome young man as a sacrifice for one of the rat god's subordinates. The recruit accepts the order without hesitation, eager to prove his worth by selecting the most attractive target he can find in the city. In class, Hiyu is still angry about the cafeteria incident. After investigating, he discovers that the line cutters are from Class 3, the elite honors group. The revelation shocks him, as students from such a prestigious group acting so shamelessly makes no sense. Lin Zichen, leaning casually against the lockers, appears unfazed. To Lin, good grades do not necessarily mean good character. His attention shifts when a breaking news alert on his phone reports another wealthy heir has vanished. This is the 5th disappearance in recent weeks with no ransom or clues. Lin instantly links the pattern to the rat god cult and their mission. When the day of the inter-class competition finally arrives, the gym buzzes with excitement. 2 fighting rings are set up as both classes fill the stands. The same students from the cafeteria glare at Hiyu, but he meets their eyes with equal defiance. As the matches begin, the atmosphere quickly turns serious. Han fights first, but is overpowered by a senior's strong kick, losing almost immediately. The pattern repeats as one first year after another falls in quick succession. A tall, red-haired senior steps into the ring and crushes 9 first-year students in under 10 minutes, displaying terrifying skill and control. By the time she finishes, only 4 first years remain, including Lin Zichen and Hai Yu. The honors class has lost only 5 fighters, all girls. Teacher Hao can barely hide his frustration at the clear power gap, so he sends Hai Yu next. Confident and unshaken, Hai Yu accepts the challenge. Hai Yu lives up to his word, defeating 6 upper-class girls in a row. However, his momentum stalls when the honors class sends out their first male fighter. The student's steps are heavy as he enters the ring. Hai Yu recognizes him instantly as the cafeteria bully and thinks this will be an easy chance to settle the score. Hai Yu underestimates him. The bully lands a brutal punch that drives into his stomach with crushing force, leaving him gasping for air. Before he can recover, a powerful kick sends Hai Yu crashing out of the ring. He realizes too late that his opponent is one of the top fighters in the honors class. After the match, the bully turns his attention to Lin Zichen. When his turn comes, Lin steps into the ring with calm composure as the crowd erupts with anticipation. The bully launches a high kick aimed at Lin's head, but Lin easily catches the leg and slams him head first into the mat. The thud echoes across the gym. That was a knockout punchline. The bully does not rise. The spectators fall silent, shocked that a top honors fighter was defeated instantly. Teacher Hao realizes Lin Zichen is far more capable than he thought. Mind blown. The classmates whisper among themselves, unsettled by how inhuman Lin's strength seemed. After the brief silence, he calmly turns to the remaining upperclassmen and asks who will fight next. No one steps forward out of fear. What follows is intense. Within half an hour, all 29 remaining second-year students are defeated. He stands alone in the ring, surrounded by fallen opponents, as his system interface appears before his eyes. Despite the overwhelming victory, Lin feels unsatisfied. His progress toward the system goal is slow, and the limited pool of school opponents no longer challenges him. His strength has already surpassed his peers, and staying under the same rules would only hold him back. Determined to move forward on his own terms, he decides to change his approach entirely. The principal of Shanghai High exhales heavily, rubbing her temples as she looks across the desk at him. A first-year student challenging the whole school sounds absurd, but his expression leaves no doubt. He insists on the challenge and asks her to come to the gym so he can show her why he is so confident. Moments later, they stand in the dimly lit gymnasium. The air is still, and fluorescent lights cast long shadows across the polished floor. The principal crosses her arms, waiting for an explanation. He calmly removes his jacket, revealing a defined, powerful build beneath his uniform. His composure never wavers as he walks toward a massive barbell on the floor. He grips it with one hand and lifts it high overhead. The barbell weighs 700 kilograms, yet he raises it effortlessly, his muscles steady and unmoving. The principal freezes, her mouth dropping open in shock. The realization hits her at once. This is what he meant by showing his strength. His power is not just impressive, it is unnatural. Not even Wu Tiancheng, the school's strongest senior, displayed such ability in his first year. The principal finally acknowledges his strength as far beyond ordinary. She nods approvingly and agrees to authorize his school-wide challenge. He accepts with a grin but adds a condition. The event must include rewards. Without incentives, no one will bother to challenge him. He explains that each participant should receive a small reward, while the main prize pool grows with each challenger. If someone defeats him, they claim it all. If no one does, the winnings go to him. Amused by his confidence, the principal agrees. Before leaving, he asks her to keep his strength secret to prevent anyone from backing out early. Later that evening, the principal finalizes the event plans. When he reviews them, he nods in satisfaction. Their quiet discussion catches the attention of 2 passing teachers who nearly stop in shock. Seeing the usually stern, iron-willed principal smiling warmly at a student leaves them utterly confused. Whoops! That afternoon at exactly 2 p.m., the gym was crammed. Every seat was taken as students buzzed with excitement and disbelief. Two massive fighting rings dominated the center, and the main student stood beside the principal. Her voice echoed through the hall as she introduced him and explained the challenge rules. Even amid the uproar, he stayed calm and still. When the noise faded, he announced that beginning tomorrow, he would be in the gym each day to face any challenger. Every afternoon for 2 hours, anyone who wanted to fight could step up against him. The anger and mockery did not bother him. He actually used the hostility as fuel. The more the students teased, the more challenges arrived, speeding up his survival of the fittest progress. That night, a young blonde man roamed alone, sipping a drink. Two women tried to lure him to a bar, but he brushed them off coldly. Frustrated, he wandered the neon-lit streets. He was a fresh recruit of the rat god cult on a mission to find a suitable sacrifice. Days passed without success, and his anxiety grew. He considered kidnapping a celebrity, but knew he was too weak to overpower anyone. Time was ticking, and the fear of disappointing his superiors twisted his stomach. While pacing the streets, he spotted Lin Zicken jogging in a tank top. He decided Lin was the perfect target, a strong, good-looking offering. Determination replaced his panic as he followed silently into a deserted industrial alley. Hiding in the shadows, the cultist felt a surge of excitement. He let out a low growl, his body contorting. Within moments, his human shape vanished, replaced by a monstrous creature ready to pounce. He lunged forward, roaring at Lin Zicken, when a sharp crack shattered the silence. A brick slammed into his skull with brutal force. Lin was shocked that anyone could deliver such a hit, knowing the Rat Codex could boost his progress. That was a literal brick wall of a surprise. Talk about a brick wall of a surprise. The rat man clutched his head in fear, then suddenly collapsed dead. Lin was shocked. He had not expected the cultist to be that fragile. He quickly began absorbing the life force before anyone could notice. The essence lifted his progress by only 1%, causing the main student to view the cultist as worthless. For safety, he halted his night runs, realizing not every cultist would be that weak. Later that night, City Security Headquarters teamed up with instructors from the Evolution Academy to eradicate the Rat God cult. Lin saw a news report confirming the group's destruction. The one who took down the Rat King was Wu Tiancheng, an instructor and a high-level gene-fused evolver. His power was so great that the entire operation lasted only 30 seconds. Lin was amazed by the strength of such a high-level being. In another location, a man in a tactical vest sipped tea and asked for an update on source number 36. Tian Cheng confirmed the area was stable, giving him time to finish off the Rat King. Tian Cheng regarded the Rat King as small fry, even though security headquarters had been helpless. Meanwhile, in the sewers, a cultist begged for his life before a monstrous boss. The boss was angry, but offered a final chance at a steep price. The monster faced the Rat King's brother, mocking him for letting his sibling take the blame. He threatened to kill the man unless he started digging tunnels immediately. Back on the surface, Lin kept reading more gossip about the cult. The characters are currently being searched for. Anyone who finds them will receive a reward of 500,000 yuan. The offer made his mouth water. Still, he knows that even if he finds them, he must stay low-key and dig for the reward later. That is a tasty bounty. When he arrived at the arena, a massive crowd gathered. Han announced the prizes for the duel winners, iPhones and gaming consoles. Those prizes would make any gamer drool. A guy raised his hand to join, but a girl stepped on his face to cut ahead. Inspired, many girls raised their hands to join. He soon found himself surrounded. The girls deliberately touched him, and things got wild. He focused on winning. Though he did not like hitting girls, he knew he had to win. One by one, he tossed the women aside, but they did not back down and even asked for a rematch. He denied their request, making the girls frown because they just wanted to be near him. Suddenly, a bulky boy stepped up, jealous and ready to teach him a lesson. With a single punch, the hero tossed the bully and his friend aside. A short while later, Lin stood atop all the contestants he had defeated. Suddenly, Yan Xiaoxuan walked in to challenge him. Yan had once dominated the whole class, so he was clearly strong. He declared he would teach the hero a lesson in humility. Bored, the hero asked the teacher if they could begin. When the battle started, a single punch knocked Yan down, leaving everyone shocked. Next up was Chen, surprised that Yan had been taken down. Chen began talking, but the main student asked for permission to start, which made Chen furious. When Chen charged, Lin simply tossed him into the air, shocking the audience. He kept taking down each contestant one by one. In the end, his system notified him that he had achieved survival of the fittest. He received the attribute, though he was not sure how much damage he could now withstand. Survival of the fittest, gym style. After the tournament, he walked away with Han Han. Later, the principal congratulated him for becoming the school's #1. The principal was sure he was hiding his true strength. When she mentioned that Chen Wuxing could lift 690 kilograms, his stats suggested he could lift at least 800. He lied, saying his limit was 795 kilograms to mask his true power. He then asked for his prize money, which the principal transferred immediately. He interrupted her, asking if he and Han Han could have the school pool to themselves. He even requested that the cameras be covered. The principal handed him the keys, but warned him to be careful. He was confused, since he only wanted to test Han Han's powers. As they left, Han Han asked if he would help her practice for an upcoming singing competition. He gladly agreed. That night, they rehearsed in her room. Shen made a comment about them being alone, but Han Han's mother quickly shut him down. He overheard the argument and decided to leave. Before he left, he reminded Han Han to bring a swimsuit for tomorrow. Nervously, she wondered if her choice was too revealing. She eventually calmed down, convincing herself it was just Zichen. The next day, she went to the pool wearing a new swimsuit. Zichen thought she looked absolutely adorable in the outfit. Without wasting any more time, they jumped into the water to start their practice. Looks like a splash party. Splash party indeed. After a while, Han Han told Zichen to swim up to the surface. She described a strange feeling, saying the pool water seemed to pass straight through her body. Zichen was confused, wondering how that could be possible. To prove it, she cupped her hands and showed him the water leaking right through her palms. He helped her out of the pool to check for any surge of power or other leaks. He tested her 3 times and found nothing abnormal except the strange ability in her hands. She then asked an awkward question, wondering if her recent inability to hold her pee was linked to this new power. He blushed and told her to let him know the next time it happened so he could check again. Han Han was just glad to finally have some kind of superpower so she could be the best partner for her hero. Later that day, he walked into a supermarket to buy a huge amount of savage giant eagle meat. He gave his card and address to have 100 crates of meat delivered. The clerk was shocked, wondering who this rich guy was that spent so much money so casually. When the meat arrived, the delivery girl asked for a 5-star rating. With 210,000 credits on hand, he was ready to see what lay behind the codex. When he touched it, his system told him he had absorbed the life essence of the savage giant eagle, reaching 100%. This gave him the Sky Eye attribute, greatly enhancing his vision and motion tracking. He tested the new skill and was impressed by how well it worked. When he got home, he saw a news report about someone who underwent a triple gene infusion mutation in public, causing many casualties. The news sparked a debate about the dangers of gene infusion. A speaker argued that if the right method to unlock human potential were found, people could evolve into advanced life forms. Science fiction meets gym class. A doctor asked if humanity should really rely on traditional martial artists who cannot even stop a bullet to fight mutated beasts. Meanwhile, the main student's father discussed these risks with his wife. The mother believed the state had everything under control. The conversation shifted to many gene users losing the ability to reproduce. They were interrupted by their son, and the mother wondered if he had heard their odd talk. During the family meal, the boy told his parents about the campus singing competition. Since Han Han was like a daughter to them, they both decided to go and cheer for her. Later, he helped Han Han with her makeup and told her she looked beautiful. She blushed while her friend playfully teased them about the close interaction. Suddenly, Han Han called for him, crying because she had another accident. She was terrified that her performance would be ruined after all the practice she had put in. He told her to stop crying before her makeup was ruined. Thinking fast, he grabbed a pair of scissors and a curtain to fashion a brand new dress for her. He turned his back so she could change privately. He blushed visibly as he waited, knowing she was changing right behind him. Once she was done, Han admitted that crying actually helped her feel less nervous. He wished her luck as the host announced the next performers. Han took the stage, looking stunning in the makeshift gown as she began her performance. Chuk Shin and Shen King, Han gave everything they had to the competition and eventually emerged as the victors. Meanwhile, a student walked into a classroom to find the curtains torn to shreds and wondered who could have done that. Who ripped those curtains? The next day, he was seen sweeping the floors as compensation for damaging the curtains. He looked a bit detached while carrying out his punishment. He checked his notifications and realized he had saved about 900,000 credits, enough to unlock the next Beast Codex. He had the shipment delivered, and this time it was a stealth lizard. He absorbed its whole life essence to gain the natural camouflage skill. His system told him he could lower his vitality to reduce his presence and also hide his biological level. He was surprised to get two effects in one. Reducing his presence lets him ambush enemies, while hiding his biological level lets him play dumb and strike hard. After finishing his training, he headed to the market to buy a cake for his mother. On his way there, he bumped into his senior, Zhang Kai, and noticed Zhang Kai now had mechanical legs. Zhang Kai explained that his legs had been crushed in a motorcycle accident, leading to amputation. Fortunately, he joined a cybernetic enhancement program run by the Mecha God Group. He went from being disabled to a cyborg. He asked about a woman they had captured, and Zhang revealed she was the only female survivor from the Rat God cult. Zhang took his leave, and he reflected on how influential the Mecha God Group must be, since security had struggled so long to find the cult remnants. His mother called to ask where he was. He told her he was on his way home with the cake. Since he and Han were born just a day apart, their parents celebrated their birthdays together. Birthday cake and biceps. Both had turned 18. After blowing out the candles, they began exchanging gifts. Suddenly, the ground started to rumble and everything began falling apart. He felt this was deeper than a simple earthquake. The news reported that the tremor in Shanghai was only minor, saying a major quake was unlikely since the city was not near any tectonic plate boundaries. After breakfast, Lin Zichen left for school with his friend. Although they were now officially adults, Han was still visibly nervous about the pressure of the upcoming college entrance exams. Later, Lin Zichen finally saved enough money to unlock the Void Eel Codex. When he activated it, he absorbed the essence and gained a new attribute called Danger Sense. The power let him sense hostility and dodge sneak attacks. He decided to test its effectiveness while strolling through a crowded shopping mall. He sensed the presence of an undead slug and made it his next target, hoping for its regenerative ability. However, the slug was far too expensive for his current budget. Lin Zichen realized he needed to increase his income after the exams. Meanwhile, in the minister's office, Yuan Dongjai gave a presentation on the academic performance of Nanjing province. The latest report placed Shanghai and Dashan at the top, while Heyuan City fell to the bottom of the list again. After finishing the report, the employee asked about the status of Inside Source Site 36. When he heard everything had stabilized, he visibly relaxed. Principal Yuan informed him that he was dismissed. Once alone, she reflected quietly and realized she had not taken on a disciple in many years. No disciples, huh? In this world, the martial arts college entrance exam lasts 9 days. On the morning of the first day, candidates must complete a written exam to test their theoretical knowledge. The afternoon is reserved for a physical fitness assessment. From days 2 through 8, students undergo a full week of live combat evaluation. During this period, martial arts candidates from across the province are sent into a forest where they must survive in the wilderness. Finally, on day 9, the candidates face a compatibility test involving gene fusion and mechanical modification. June 7th marked the first day of entrance exams for the main student, Lin Zichen. Han Han was visibly anxious, worried she might panic and make mistakes during the test. Seeing her distress, Lin Zichen hugged her and reassured her, saying her theoretical foundation was solid and she would definitely pass. After wishing each other good luck, they headed toward their respective exam halls. Lin Zichen finished his written exam quickly and used the spare time to brainstorm ideas for his novel. Later, as he walked out of the classroom, he saw Han Han emerging with an embarrassed expression. He wondered if she might have failed the test. Lin Zichen tried to comfort her, reminding her that martial arts track students only needed to pass the written portion. Han Han quickly reassured him that she had performed well. She then mentioned she needed to rush to the bathroom. Lin Zichen urged her to hurry since the physical fitness test would start soon. During the assessment, his results completely shocked everyone present. He lifted 950 kilograms in a single-arm barbell lift, sprinted 100 meters in about 5 seconds, and achieved a vertical jump of nearly 5 meters. Those lifts could break a dumbbell factory. Afterward, Han Han shared her results. She sprinted under 10 seconds, jumped over 1.5 meters, and lifted 125 kilograms. Lin Zichen reassured her that her scores were still exceptional for a female student. Then a friend approached them to announce that the written test results had been released. The friend mentioned that Wang Shuji and Lu Gang both scored in the 80s, while he himself nearly hit an 80. Han Han revealed she had scored 82. As for Lin Zichen, his score was clearly even higher. As they walked home together, Han Han wondered what the upcoming forest test site would be. Elsewhere, a masked man met with a safety officer. He asked the officer to use his identity to help control the 10 geniuses taking part in the live combat test. The masked man handed the officer a box containing 10 demon seeds, which could temporarily boost a person's strength. The masked man gave the officer a box of 10 demon seeds, which could temporarily enhance a person's strength. He agrees to recommend the officer to the organization, and the officer says his real goal isn't a fancy rank, but a mutated fruit. He figures a mutated fruit would only get him to a modest tier 7, but joining the organization could turn him into a high-level being. After taking a deep breath and thinking it over, the officer admits that becoming an official member first is the smarter move. The instructor announces they're nearing the combat assessment site and tells every examinee to get ready and prepare to hop off the bus. Lin Zichen gently wakes his friend, and the instructor orders everyone at entrance 9 to get off and head to the assembly point. Scattered across the forest are score tokens stamped with point values, deliberately placed in risky spots. Feels like a video game level. Some tokens hide in treetops, others cling to sheer cliffs, and a few are even lodged inside wild animals or mutant beasts, all under constant watch. Regular students are urged to know their limits and stay cautious. The final score mixes collected points with an overall performance grade judged from live camera footage. 100,000 examinees take part, but only 50,000 points are scattered in the forest, so more than half will finish with no points at all. The assessment encourages both teamwork and competition. Participants can share tokens or even steal them from opponents. The instructor reminds everyone to get ready, announcing the exam starts in an hour. Then, a student shouts that his father is a senior executive at the Mecha Deity Group and offers money to anyone who will carry him through the test. Another examinee claims to be the top student of the gifted class at Changzhou High School and offers to lead others. But the instructor smacks him on the head and sternly warns that forming open teams is strictly forbidden. Meanwhile, several girls swarm Lin Zichen, asking him to take them under his wing, but he coldly declines each request without hesitation. Then a young man asks to buy some of his food. Lin Zichen casually hands him a portion, saying payment is not needed, but the man stubbornly refuses the free offering. He introduces himself as Hong Junping, a rocket-class student from Qingjin High School, and proposes a team. Hong looks shocked when Lin Zichen bluntly rejects him and walks away after thanking him for the food. Han Han finds it odd and asks why Hong asked for food when there are plenty of stalls nearby. Lin Zichen calmly replies that Hong wasn't after food, he just needed an excuse to talk to her. They continue the exam, and to let his friend adjust first, Lin Zichen stays near the forest edge, searching for score tokens instead of diving straight into the depths. Activating his sky eye, he quickly spots a token atop a tree and tells Han Han to get it. Han Han darts forward, climbs fast, and snatches the token. Soon after, Lin Zichen spots several more tokens, and Han Han rushes to gather them all. What a duo! She moves around, gathering tokens one by one. Thrilled, she jumps toward him, thanking him for spotting all the points. Nice teamwork, huh? Just then, Hong Junping shows up again, boasting he has already collected 28 points and saying he repays any kindness 100 times over. In truth, he just wants another chance to talk to Han Han, suggesting a 3-person team and an even split of the scores. Lin Zichen steps forward, firmly declines, and demands that Hong hand over all his score tokens. Enraged, Hong shouts that Lin Zichen has made a grave mistake, charges forward, and tries to attack. He stays calm, stands his ground, and lands a single punch to Hong's abdomen, instantly dropping him to the ground. Talk about a swift knockout. Lin Zichen and Han Han leave right away, now holding even more tokens. Han Han worries about Hong, but Lin Zichen reassures her he will be fine. Later, he keeps helping his friend find more tokens and teaches her how to wield a simple bamboo pole as a weapon for hunting wild boars. He tells her to aim carefully, be fast, strong, and precise. Working together, they also pick fruit and give a lesson to anyone who tries to ambush them. When they finally tire, they lean on each other and rest quietly. Lin Zichen wishes the peaceful moment could linger a bit longer. Soon they reach the forest's central area, the mutant beast zone, and are greeted by a chilling sight. Blood stains the ground everywhere, and every mutant beast has vanished. The empty zone upsets Han Han because Lin Zichen would have earned the genius title if they had arrived earlier. He reassures her that the title is not that important. With cameras and security everywhere, he could not have absorbed the mutant beast's life essence anyway. He thinks it is more worthwhile to train her in wilderness survival. Right after the combat assessment ends, the gene fusion compatibility test begins. At the Island Gene Research Institute, students line up at the test window. While waiting, Han Han asks if the reagents in front of them are for testing compatibility. The reagents are called flow cloud jellyfish. Their genes are highly compatible with the human body and react easily with human blood. For the test, fresh blood is drawn on the spot and injected into the reagent to trigger a reaction. The reaction's intensity determines whether the examinee is suitable for gene fusion. One examinee hopes to pass because he does not want to take the mechanical modification test. A girl behind him agrees, having heard that becoming a cyborg means implanting alloys directly into the body. The pain is said to be worse than childbirth. Han Han takes her test, and she and her friend wait for the results, which will be ready in an hour. Someone excitedly announces his gene fusion compatibility is 8%. While some are happy to barely pass at 6%, 10% is the benchmark for admission to top universities like Kyoto and Shanghai. The prodigy scores 16%, but Lin Zichen's physical strength is far higher. He believes he can reach 20% compatibility, while Han Han starts feeling nervous about her own potential score. Lin Zichen tries to comfort her, yet worries they might not stay together if her score is low. At that moment, other examinees cheer over their 10 and 11% results. After watching the students behind him receive results, he decides to check his own. Han Han is too scared to look at hers and asks him to check his first. When he checks his score, he finds 15% compatibility. Han Han excitedly hugs him, confident he will be the province's top scorer. He feels disappointed because his score is lower than the prodigy's, realizing that physical strength alone is not everything. Next, he checks Han Han's score. Friends reassure her she will likely do well. As Lin Zichen reads her results, everyone is shocked by what they see. Whoa, plot twist. Han Han's compatibility score is a staggering 21%. Meanwhile, at the provincial education headquarters, officials gather to review results from every school. They notice Lin Zichen's 15% and congratulate Principal Bai for producing the top student at Shanghai High School, leading everyone to assume he is the province's top scorer. That assumption flips instantly when Han Han's results appear. No one can believe she scored 21%, as she has always been seen as an average student. Principal Bai insists there must be a system error. With no other option, Yuan sighs and decides to investigate the matter personally at the testing center. Back at the center, even Han Han thinks it is a mistake. Yuan explains the score is accurate because she has a strong affinity for water, noting the test jellyfish is a water-type mutant. Han Han's eyes light up with excitement as she finally feels worthy of her friend. Suddenly, Yuan arrives riding a massive water wave. The onlookers are stunned by her entrance and clear a path. They are shocked to see a member of the legendary Yuan family, known for slaying a dragon and fusing its genes. Yuan walks straight to Han Han and orders the staff to retest her blood 3 times. After the samples are taken, Han Han waits with a numb arm until a doctor asks her to follow. In the vice principal's office, Yuan confirms each test gave a 21% score and immediately offers to take Han Han as her disciple. Yuan manipulates water in a glass to demonstrate what her training can achieve. Han Han is stunned and asks for time to consult Lin Zichen before deciding. Yuan insists there is nothing to think about, as she is both director of education and vice principal, urging Han Han to attend Shanghai University to continue her growth. They swap contact info, and Yuan mentions she has another disciple who is about the same age, even though she started 10 years earlier. When Han Han sees the photo of her senior sister, she is completely shocked. The disciple is revealed to be Baizu. She asks her master about a mysterious name, and Yuan explains it belongs to Luo Ganzu. Yuan asks her disciple if she recognizes her senior sister. Han Han explains she had a close elementary school friend who looked exactly like her, but they lost contact after a school transfer. Small world. Han Han wonders if it is the same person. Finding her disciple's compatibility beyond anything she has ever seen, Yuan decides to perform a full body examination for any abnormalities. Sounds intense. Surprisingly, the examination reveals nothing abnormal. The body is far too ordinary for someone with such high compatibility, which is highly unusual. To prevent malicious people from targeting her, Yuan tells her disciple she will alter her official score to 16% and instructs her to leave. After Han Han leaves, Yuan calls her father to report that she has officially taken the girl as a disciple. She notes the girl's spotless background and mentions that her childhood friend, Lin Zichen, ranks second. Yuan's father is impressed and believes the disciple will bring great future benefits. He cautions his daughter to keep Han Han's true talent a secret. Lin Zichen is surprised by how suddenly his friend found a master, but decides to support her, thinking that if Yuan means no harm, a powerful master will be beneficial. Friendship goals. He tells himself that if things go wrong, Han Han can end the master-disciple relationship once she is strong enough. As they return home, their mothers take them to the Ming Xiang restaurant to celebrate. The mothers are thrilled by Han Han's score and happy that the two friends will attend the same university again. After a night celebrating their first and second place rankings, everyone returns home. Later that night, Lin Zichen's mother hears a knock and finds Han Han at the door. She assumes the girl is there to spend the night, but Han Han explains she needs to talk with him about something important. As a flustered Han Han heads to his room, Lin Zichen's mother wonders if this is actually a confession of her feelings. Han Han knocks and explains that during the exam, Yuan could not find anything special. The fact that a master who controls ocean waves found nothing shows that Han Han's body is even more mysterious than they thought. Lin Zichen warns her to keep this secret to avoid dangerous consequences, promising they will study it together once stronger. Han Han agrees and shows him a photo of her senior sister. He agrees the woman looks like their friend, though her temperament is completely different. When Han Han asks her master about the photo's location, the only answer she receives is that it is called the origin ground. After sitting quietly on the bed, Han asks if men like women who wear kippaos. Lin Zikin blushes as he imagines her in the outfit, realizing she is likely influenced by her master. He tells her she would look great in a kippao, so she asks his opinion on stocking colors. He continues to blush while she immediately orders multiple pairs online. Suddenly, his mother knocks on the door, delivering a bag of items that Han's mother sent for her sleepover. The young woman feels embarrassed that her mother sent everything, but Lin Zikin's mother tells them they are grown-ups now and can stay up late together. Han pulls the items from her bag to go to the washroom, but she is shocked to find her mother packed protection gear. Embarrassed, she rushes to the washroom while Lin Zichen looks confused. Both Lin Zichen and his friend are admitted to Shanghai University's Evolution College. Han signs a contract with He-Yu's martial arts school, just like Lin Zichen. Today, they head to the martial arts school for a promotional event, but after a short ride, they unexpectedly run into some strange people blocking the way. Liu Chuan-Wu, the dean of the martial arts college at Shanghai University, introduces himself and explains he is there on behalf of the Heaven Human Pavilion. The Heaven Human Pavilion is a conservation organization that opposes gene fusion and mechanical modification. Although they are a hot topic, most criticism comes from people accusing them of misleading younger generations. Dean Liu invites Lin Zichen to the pavilion. When he tries to walk away, the dean stops him and even offers him the latest iPhone to catch his attention. At a meeting, Dean Liu explains that the organization researches unlocking the potential of pure-blood humans without any gene fusion or mechanical modification, aiming to break ordinary limits and evolve into rare or legendary beings. The dean shows a video where a man of ordinary ninth rank overpowers and defeats a high-level gene fusioner. Lin Zichen is surprised to see the dean battling Wu Tiancheng, the man who wiped out the rat god cult. Wu Tiancheng flies up and rains feathers at his opponent, but Liu blocks the attacks by shielding himself. Epic showdown. As Wu Tiancheng comes down, Liu rushes forward and knocks him out with a single punch to the face. Lin Zichen wonders if the video is fake or if the opponent was a planted actor. Dean Liu assures it is authentic and invites him to watch him challenge other high-level fusioners in person. Lin Zichen wonders why they do not promote the pavilion online. Dean Liu explains that authorities believe there is no future without raising biological levels, so the footage cannot be shared. The dean believes a breakthrough requires quantity, and he needs a genius like Lin Zichen to join. He has trained for 50 years and is still stuck at ordinary ninth rank, but he is confident the young man could evolve much further. Lin Zichen notes that the dean looks only in his 50s, but the dean reveals he is almost 100 years old, his youthful appearance thanks to a body tempering technique. Lin Zichen looks up the dean's profile in the local encyclopedia, confirming that the body tempering technique can significantly extend a person's life. Lin Zichen ponders his lifespan and whether his parents can achieve cultivation. While researching, he learns that Liu Quanwu is the prestigious eldest young master of the renowned Liu martial family. The family once dominated Nanjiang province, but declined sharply after gene fusion rose because they refused to integrate mutant beast genes. Liu Quanwu is now a broken man. His wife and children chose the path of gene fusion and abandoned him when he refused to follow suit. Lin Zichen begins to imagine his own life with Han, feeling confident that their bond is too strong for her to ever leave him. However, the relationship section of the record catches him by surprise. He is shocked to discover that Liu Quanwu's wife is actually his friend's master, and he notices the children's photos are grayed out, making him wonder if they have passed away. After reviewing the profile, Lin Zichen realizes he should not underestimate Dean Liu. The dean explains that his youthful appearance, despite being nearly 100 years old, proves the potential of pure-blood humans. This is why the Tianren Pavilion was founded. Tianren refers to humans who defy fate and triumph over the heavens. Gene fusion only borrows power from mutant beasts, meaning it can never truly surpass them. Liu Quanwu believes humanity will eventually fail to withstand external invasions, leading to extinction. He notes that mechanical modifications also rely on materials from mutant beasts, making that path equally limited. Dean Liu says the pavilion isn't opposed to those paths, but it will not rely only on them. He suggests trying those methods first while the pavilion continues to look for other options for later stages. Dean Liu asks Lin Zichen to join the Tianren Pavilion and help shape humanity's future, believing Lin could become the first pure-blooded person to break ordinary limits. Lin asks about the body tempering technique, and Liu explains it is an ancient blood tempering method that uses a person's energy and blood to refine the body and boost combat power. Ancient records claim that at the highest level a person gains a sanctified body, able to fly, shatter mountains with a single punch, and tear giant mutant beasts apart with bare hands. The technique is reserved for pure-blooded humans. Gene fusioners have blood impurities, and cyborgs have incomplete bodies that block proper energy flow. The pavilion believes the future belongs to pure-blooded humans. Liu invites Lin to join, but Lin hesitates, wanting more time to explore the path first. Dean Liu agrees, but warns that ignoring this path would be a waste, given Lin Zichen's physical talent. He says even those with high gene compatibility are insignificant compared to Lin. From their point of view, Lin is the real top scorer of Nanjiang Province because of his unmatched physical test results. Because they believe he follows the pure-blooded path, they are confident he will surpass the current top scorer in the future. Han Han sits awkwardly, having been pulled into the debate without a word. Soon after, Lin introduces her to Dean Liu, revealing that she is actually the province's top scorer. Lin picks up his phone, thanks Liu Chuanwu for the gift, and gets ready to leave. As Lin walks away, Dean Liu urgently pleads for him to join for just 6 months, even offering to double the benefits Evolution College provides. When Lin still hesitates, the dean raises the offer to triple the benefits. Suddenly, Lin finds himself back at the table, hearing the dean rave about the Celestial Pavilion. Lin eagerly agrees to bring his talent to the pavilion and help the future of pure-blooded humans. Liu Chuanwu is surprised by this sudden eagerness. Lin is surprised that Liu knows about the origin ground and explains that it is the source where all life and mutant beasts begin. He learns that humanity can actually reach this place. Liu Chuanwu mentions that this is where the mall's meat comes from because Earth's supply is not enough for everyone. When Lin asks for video of the origin ground, Liu explains that electronics fail there, so they must use realistic paintings to record anything. Lin realizes the picture he saw earlier was actually a drawing. Just then, his phone rings, urging him to hurry to a promotion event at the martial arts hall. Before leaving, Liu hands Lin a translated manual for the blood refining technique. It requires at least ordinary tier stage 4 to start cultivation. Liu suggests Lin read it over the summer break to prepare for his school evolution. In truth, Lin is already at stage 6 and plans to begin training right away. He is practically breathing fire already. Talk about getting fired up literally. Meanwhile, Yu Yan trains and notices the dean looking especially happy. He boasts about recruiting the top physical scorer to the Celestial Pavilion. Yu Yan doubts he used charm to close the deal. Liu Chuanwu eventually admits he offered triple the benefits. She gets angry because they are already deep in debt, but the dean says he has arranged a meeting with 3 wealthy ladies to cover the costs. Liu asks Yu Yan how long it took her to sense her energy at the start. She remembers being a top student, needing 1 week to sense energy and 2 months to master blood control. Yu Yan feels embarrassed about past exams because she has not become a high-tier being since joining the pavilion. People have mocked her for years because of that. The dean reassures her that she will eventually silence the trolls. Still, she is upset that she has not opened a single acupoint even after 2 refinements. The dean is confident Lin can master the basics in 10 days. Yu Yan gets excited and decides she wants to teach the newcomer herself. Lin starts his practice right away, easily sensing his qi and blood through his 3 senses. He reads about refining his right arm in his diary and begins the process. The system soon notifies him that his skin durability and blood refining proficiency each rose by 1 point. Half an hour later, he finishes refining his right arm and tests its toughness with a blade. When he drives the blade into his skin, he discovers that 1 round of refinement made his skin blade-proof. He now understands how some martial artists can endure powerful feather attacks. He wonders how tough his skin will become after 5 refinements. After 3 hours of training, he feels confident he can refine his whole body in under a week. He has already finished both arms while using only 1/3 of his chi and blood. Lin Zichen receives a text from Han Han asking him to come over for a surprise. He heads to her house and tells her mother that Han Han invited him. He knocks and enters her room, finding Han Han hidden under the sheets. He wonders if the surprise is the girl herself, but she simply asks him to lift the blanket and take a look. When he lifts the bedsheet, he is surprised to see her in a new outfit. He blushes and says she looks nice. She then asks if he wants to see her in stockings. She puts on the stockings, and Lin blushes again while complimenting her look. She asks him to feel the material because it feels nice. Lin runs his hand along her legs, agreeing they feel soft. Suddenly, there is a knock. It is Meng, who says his mother sent a bag and left it hanging on the doorknob. He takes the bag and is embarrassed to find a condom inside, feeling things are moving far too fast. Then Han Han asks him to stay the night and tells him to turn around because she needs to put on a diaper. After she is done, she tells him to turn off the lights and join her in bed. As they lie together, he notices a pleasant scent and wonders if she sprayed perfume. She says it is just her natural body fragrance. They stare at each other for a moment before he suddenly kisses her. However, Han Han quickly jumps off the bed because she accidentally wet herself. Awkward moment. Lin asks if she is experiencing intense mental fluctuations. Han Han explains her heart raced and her body felt warm. He suspects her unknown superpower is tied to and controlled by her mental state. He believes that as her mental power grows, she might fully awaken her abilities. They try kissing again, but her mental state fluctuates and the same accident repeats. Eventually, Han Han heads to the shower and asks him to bring her fresh clothes. He searches her wardrobe and finds a suitable set. The next morning, he leaves the room and is invited to breakfast. The parents complain that Han Han is not as disciplined as their guest, but Lin defends her, noting she is on vacation and has already performed well in the province. Because of recent events, she decides to text Wangsun the good news. Meanwhile, Lin heads to the laundry to wash his clothes. His mother gives him a thumbs up, telling him he is very capable. At the same time, Dean Ma visits Liu Chuanhua, demanding an explanation about Lin Zichen. Dean Liu pretends he has no idea what Ma is saying. Ma yells at him for poaching Lin Zichen to his martial arts college when the student was already enrolled in Evolution College. Liu shouts back that it is not poaching because Martial College can recruit students just as Evolution College can. The two men begin arguing fiercely over Lin Zichen. Ma tells Liu he should respect the first come, first served principle, but Liu says he broke no rules since Lin Zichen is not officially his student yet. Ma concedes it is not an official university rule, but insists Liu broke the unwritten code between deans. Liu refuses to accept this, believing his recruitment was a fair competition. Liu suggests that if Ma is upset, he could try to convince Lin Zichen to return to Evolution College. Offended, Ma challenges Liu to a staged fight for a real competition. Liu is not foolish. He knows that as an ordinary 9th rank, he cannot fight Ma, who is an advanced 5th rank. He claims Ma is simply bullying an older man. Ma walks away, reminding Liu Chuanwu that without gene fusion, he will always remain a weak ordinary level 9 rank for life, even calling Liu weaker than an ant. Meanwhile, Yuan tells Ma that when Lin Zichen sees peers surpass him through gene fusion or mechanical modification, he will realize his mistake and return to Evolution College. Ma insists Liu must be punished for his actions. Yuan suggests he simply use Liu's own tactics and poach the student back. Ma Zhen is usually calm, but he loses all reason whenever he faces Liu Chuanhua. Yuan notes that Ma's tongue remains sharp and wonders what he could have achieved if he had not chosen the pure-blooded path. Meanwhile, Han Han gets tired after running for a while. Lin offers her water and tells her to stop training and rest on a bench. Han Han lies down as Lin gives her a massage. She thanks him, but he feels being too formal does not suit their relationship. This prompts Han Han to ask what kind of relationship they actually have. Lin tells her they are like family. Han Han thinks they are fiancés, and they both make a pinky promise to marry after graduating from university. Meanwhile, Dean Ma visits Lin's house late at night. Lin Zichen's father is puzzled why the dean has come so late to discuss college selection when it was already decided. Family drama, huh? Dean Ma brings 2 ice crystal fish as a goodwill gesture, and the father invites him inside. Ma explains his concerns about Lin Zichen's gene fusion compatibility. He claims the gene fusion path unlocks a limitless future, while the pure-blooded human path is a trap that wastes talent. He urges Lin to reject the martial arts college option. Lin Zichen's mother is confused, thinking her son was already enrolled in Evolution College. Lin confesses he forgot to tell them he joined the Tian Ren Pavilion instead. Lin agrees with the Tian Ren Pavilion's philosophy. Since the martial arts college dean offered triple the benefits, he has agreed to join for a 6-month trial period. He promises that if he makes no progress in that time, he will return to Evolution College and continue the gene fusion path. Dean Ma is upset to learn Liu offered triple the benefits and gives Lin some advice. The dean explains that while triple benefits sound impressive, they are mere petty profits in the long run. He argues that Lin should not sacrifice his future for something so small. Even if it is just a 6-month trial, Dean Ma believes Lin would still miss out on far more knowledge than any triple benefits could provide. He confidently tells Lin he has seen similar cases at university and calls it a total waste of time. Lin thanks Dean Ma but refuses his offer, saying he strongly believes in the Tian Ren Pavilion's philosophy. If he does not give it a try, it will weigh on his mind forever. Dean Ma understands Lin's determination and leaves it as is. Later, Lin checks the news and is shocked to see an announcement about the pavilion. The article claims the Tian Ren Pavilion brainwashed a top scorer into abandoning the gene fusion path. It even references a similar case from 10 years ago where a student ended up ordinary after joining them. The comments are full of negative remarks. He realizes spam bots were hired to shift the narrative and is further shocked to see his personal information exposed online. He worries things could get serious if cultists notice him. He wonders if Dean Ma or someone else leaked his details to stop the pavilion. He quickly calls the police to file a report. 2 hours later, Lin sighs with relief as the post is finally deleted. Then his phone buzzes with group chat messages. He realizes his private photos have also been leaked. That night, Han Han appears at the door in a pink nightgown, cheerfully announcing she will sleep there. Later, as they lie in bed, she notices him reading the negative news about himself. Lin explains that in power struggles, those who follow the rules are often at a disadvantage. His girlfriend suggests asking her powerful master, Yuan Dongjai, for help. Lin dismisses the idea because of faction conflict, but she insists and messages her master anyway. A short while later, she shows him a reply saying the problem is already solved. Lin is shocked to find that all news about him has been completely erased. He wonders if Yuan Dongjai helped because of her new disciple or her past relationship with Liu Chuangwu. He asks his girlfriend to thank her master. She leans in close, telling him to kiss her as a reward. Later, Lin sits cross-legged on his bed to meditate. White misty energy swirls around him as he takes a deep, controlled breath. A system notification announces his biological level has risen to ordinary tier 7. He has finally finished tempering his entire skin. Power level up. After training, Lin checks his updated status. It confirms he is 18 years old and at ordinary tier 7 with 9 biological attributes. He has also completed the first stage of body tempering for his skin. He feels pretty unstoppable. He is basically a walking powerhouse. Feeling confident, he believes 9 attributes equal 10 gene fusions. With a casual smirk, he thinks he is now strong enough to overpower the famous Kyoto prodigy. His thoughts are interrupted by a message from his girlfriend, Han, asking him to join her and their friend Chuckson to retrieve their eggs next Monday. He understands that because she plans to follow the gene fusion path, which often leads to infertility, she is preserving her eggs for a future procedure. He quickly agrees to go along. The following Monday, they arrive at a large, modern hospital. Inside, Han lies on a bed while a nurse gives her an ovulation induction shot and tells her to return tomorrow for the retrieval. As they walk down the corridor, Chuckson comments on how troublesome the process is. Han admits she still feels a little nervous about everything. Hearing this, her best friend suggests they go shopping to take her mind off things. Han happily agrees and asks Lin if he wants to join them. He declines, explaining he has other tasks to attend to. Chuckson is thrilled to have a girls' day out, and they wave goodbye as they walk off. Back in his room, Lin decides it is time for the next stage of his training, tempering his muscles. As he meditates, notifications confirm his strength and blood-tempering proficiency are increasing. The burning sensation is far more intense than when he tempered his skin, but he endures it. After spending an entire afternoon on just his right arm, he collapses onto his bed, exhausted. He eats a massive amount of food to replenish his energy. Afterwards, he tests his new strength and is stunned to find that tempering just one arm increased his power by 50%. Suddenly, there is a knock at the door. His girlfriend enters, explaining that Chuckson has already accepted an invitation to hang out with Hayu before school starts. He assures her that if she is going, he will follow. However, she looks worried because her friend wants to go to the beach, and she is too afraid to refuse. She recalls the terrifying, mysterious voice she once heard in the ocean and admits her fear. Lin comforts her, promising to protect her and suggesting they stay out of the water. The scene shifts to a dark, fiery cavern where a secret meeting is underway. A giant green monster reports to an enigmatic figure wearing a sinister plague doctor mask. The monster tells the masked man the tunnels are complete and instructs him to set a biological coordinate. The man agrees, raising a powerful staff crowned with a glowing red eye. He slams the staff down, releasing dark energy, and slices his own wrist so his blood can be absorbed by the red eye. Tendrils of energy erupt from the ground as the ritual begins. The masked man explains the coordinate is set. He must now wait for the origin land to resonate with a matching point to fully open the tunnels. The friends are on their way to the beach, driving along a beautiful coastal road to the origin land. Inside the car, Chuckson asks the driver when he got his driver's license. The driver explains his father pulled some strings to get him into a driving course right after summer break started. When he offers to get the others into the same program, they enthusiastically agree, much to his delight. Soon they arrive at the beach parking lot, and the driver is ecstatic. He runs onto the sand, shouting about his love for the sea breeze and the ocean. Beach vibes incoming. He lights up whenever bikini-clad women are brought up, but when a lewd comment is made, Chuckson lightly smacks the back of his head in irritation. Chuckson grabs Han's arm and announces they are going to change, dismissing any objections. As they walk away, the upbeat friend swings an arm around the other guy and suggests they change as well so they can go diving. While the three walk off, some beachgoers notice Sichin and remark that he was the runner-up in the Nanjing Province college entrance exam, later mentioning his enrollment at the Tianren Pavilion. They speculate that he must have been brainwashed or suffered a head injury, claiming he has ruined his future. The friend overhears, explodes in anger, and rushes over, demanding silence. What a dramatic scene on a sunny beach. The gossipers are left speechless and frightened by the outburst. Before tension escalates, the main guy calmly takes his friend's arm and says, "Let it go, do not waste your breath." He tells his friend he does not care about their opinions, though he admits he would have used violence if they had attacked something he truly cherishes. His friend asks what that is, just as Chuckson and the girlfriend return in beachwear. A classic showdown is unfolding. Chuckson grins and says it is obvious. The guy cares most about his girlfriend. The friend admits the question was pointless, and Chuckson urges the boys to hurry up and change. A short while later, the two men reappear in swim trunks, showing off their muscular bodies. He offers to apply sunscreen to his girlfriend, and she gladly accepts while lounging on a chair. While he rubs sunscreen onto her back, his friend watches, blushing with jealousy, convinced the guy has serious moves. Trying to copy him, the friend flirts with her best friend, who bluntly tells him to go away. Smooth moves, but not everyone is a fan. As he continues applying sunscreen, the girlfriend daydreams about how awesome he is. Suddenly, a mysterious, powerful voice echoes in her mind. Her eyes widen in shock, and she sits up quickly. She turns toward the ocean, trembling, and shouts that she heard the voice again. He lifts the frightened Han and asks what is wrong. She tells him the eerie voice spoke of a great god, a revival, and the original land of the sea. He guesses the voice is linked to the origin land, but admits they do not have enough information yet. He suggests she ask her master about it indirectly once school starts, and she nods. Later, back in his room, he continues his training. After finishing muscle tempering, he now begins the excruciating bone tempering process, channeling energy to reinforce his skeleton. He collapses onto his bed, exhausted yet triumphant, having successfully tempered all 206 bones in his body. A system notification appears, congratulating him on evolving to ordinary creature rank 9 as a reward for his hard work. He is now only one step away from becoming an advanced creature. While still lying on his bed, he flips through the blood tempering technique book. He realizes he must open the apertures in his body to reach the next evolution, but the instructions are vague. Determined, he shuts the book, vowing to figure out the method on his own. The scene shifts to Shanghai University's campus, where he and his girlfriend finally arrive to begin college life. One of their parents calls out, announcing their arrival. As they stroll across campus, Han excitedly points to an old ice cream shop. He confirms it is the same shop they visited as children. His mother, Wang Xin, suggests they grab a treat since it is still early. Nothing like nostalgia and a scoop of strawberry. Inside, his girlfriend enjoys a big bowl of strawberry milk ice cream. She offers him a spoonful, and he takes a bite while his parents watch. Their peaceful outing is interrupted by a ruckus from a nearby bar. He peers through the window and overhears a man venting to a woman named Jayak Sin. Inside the bar, Brother Yang has Jayak Sin perched on his lap, while another guy urges him to stay focused on their game. Nearby, some men chat about how students from the Evolution Academy have bright futures, making them highly attractive to women. This conversation reminds him that Shanghai University is split into a cultural campus and a heavily guarded inner campus. Two campuses, double the drama, talk about a campus with a security checkpoint. The inner campus is a high-security zone for gene fusion and martial arts research, constantly patrolled by armed guards and surveillance drones. Back at the table, Wang Xin tells the young couple to stay focused on their studies. Her husband, Yan Sheng, says it is time to head to the inner campus. Because parents cannot enter the restricted zone, Yan Sheng reminds his son to look after Han. He promises he will. At the gate, a guard asks for their admission notices. He recognizes him as the runner-up from the provincial exams and lets them through. Inside, the campus bustles with gene fusers and cyborgs. After finishing registration, they prepare to head to their separate dormitories. His girlfriend waves goodbye, promising to meet later. When he arrives at the Martial Arts Academy, he is immediately surrounded by eager students. He is encircled by a group of enthusiastic senior girls. They heap compliments on his looks, offer to carry his bags, and eagerly ask for his contact information. Then a confident blonde senior steps forward, offering to personally escort him to his dormitory. He gratefully accepts. While walking, she asks if he wants to see the school's combat power rankings. She leads him to a display with two lists, the peak ranking of the top 500 students school-wide and the new student ranking of the top 100 freshmen. She explains that the top 3 on the peak list are powerful fourth-year students from the Evolution and Mechanical Academies. In contrast, only 3 Martial Arts Academy students appear, and their rankings are much lower. She recounts a former star student from their academy who topped the entrance exams and even reached 6th place on the peak ranking. However, because she was a pure-blood human, her progress stalled, and gene fusers and cyborgs eventually overtook her. She introduces herself as Song Yu-yan, now an instructor at the academy and a key researcher for Tian Ren. Soon, they arrive at his room. She leads him inside, revealing a spacious private apartment rather than a typical dorm room. She comments, a little enviously, that being the top scorer comes with amazing perks. She remarks on how hot it was outside and suggestively asks if she can use his shower. He thanks her for the help, but offers to buy her a milk tea from a shop across the way instead. She looks completely confused by his reply but agrees, puzzled why he did not take the bait. After she leaves, he stands alone in his new room, thinking he has repaid her for showing him the way. Nice payoff, guess the karma's real. He receives a message from his girlfriend asking for pictures of his dorm. She has already sent photos of her own place, which is incredibly luxurious and even includes a private gym. Comparing her lavish apartment to his simple single room, he feels a pang of envy and realizes how much richer the Evolution Academy is. He reluctantly snaps a few pictures of his modest room and sends them. She is surprised by how tiny his dorm is and immediately suggests he move in with her, saying her bed is even bigger than the one she has at home. Without hesitation, he grabs his suitcase and declares he is heading over. As he leaves the Martial Arts Academy dorms, he mutters about the huge funding gap between the academies. Talk about a moving day. Budget wars, anyone. He sighs, briefly wondering if Dean Liu Chuanwu will actually deliver on the promise to triple the benefits. When the elevator doors open on her floor, his girlfriend greets him with a bright smile. Elevator rides are the perfect time for daydreams. She happily welcomes him into her spacious, air-conditioned apartment. As they unpack, he remarks that her master must really care for her to afford such a place. His girlfriend stretches her arms wide, joyfully declaring that this is now their little home. He quickly tells her not to get too carried away with the idea. She announces that she is sweaty from the move, says she will shower first, and starts undressing, leaving her clothes on the floor. He watches, reminding her not to make a mess. While she showers, he, flustered, picks up her clothes and decides to check out the new university campus app he downloaded, beginning to explore its different sections. He browses an in-app store where he can spend school credits to purchase resources for gene fusion and mechanical modification. Who needs a coffee when you can buy credits? He learns there are 3 ways to earn credits: ranking on the school power list, completing official tasks, or achieving outstanding results in competitions. He realizes that for him, this will be even easier than earning money. However, his exploration is interrupted when his girlfriend calls from the bathroom, asking him to bring her clothes. He walks in to hand her the clothes and finds her relaxing in the large bathtub. Blushing, she comments on how comfortable the water feels and invitingly asks if he wants to join her. She explains that it would be wasteful to use so much hot water for just one person. He hesitates, blushing, but eventually agrees to join her. In the tub, he offers to wash her back, and she happily accepts, promising it will be her turn to wash his back afterward. Later, after their bath and a meal, he meditates on the bed while his girlfriend lies beside him. He begins the second stage of skin tempering. The process is grueling. He finds it far harder than before, spending 2 full hours just tempering his right hand. To test its strength, he asks for a sewing needle. To her amazement, he presses the sharp needle against his hand, but it cannot pierce the skin. A system notification confirms that his toughness is increasing. When he applies more pressure, the needle shatters. His girlfriend is in awe, exclaiming that the blood tempering technique makes her want to follow the pure blood path too. He then announces the next test, heat resistance. He calmly holds his hand over a lit stove flame and a notification confirms his progress. Heat test passed. He reflects that it took over a minute to feel a sensation, concluding he is on his way to a saintly body. Just then, his phone buzzes with a message from Dean Liu Chuanwu. The dean asks if he has settled in and invites him to the Tian Ren headquarters to meet the other members. He agrees and shares his current location for a pickup. He sighs and decides to head downstairs, telling his girlfriend he has to go out for a while. She encourages him to go ahead. Outside, he finds a shady spot under some trees. While leaning there, a talkative young man with spiky orange-brown hair notices him and recognizes him as the top provincial scorer. The young man expresses admiration for his choice to follow the pure-blood path and shares his hopes for research at Shanghai University, then gives a thumbs up and walks away. Looks like a fan club is forming. Instant fan service. Soon after, the roar of an engine fills the air. A woman in a helmet pulls up on a sleek red motorcycle and asks if he is the student she is looking for. She removes her helmet, introducing herself as Song Yu Yan, an instructor and researcher, and explains she has come to take him to their headquarters. As they shake hands, he internally recalls her story as the former top student who chose the pure blood path. He hops onto the back of her motorcycle, and she playfully tells him to hold on tighter. As they speed off, she asks if he is happy that a beautiful mentor came to pick him up. He replies that it is an honor. Riding a motorcycle with a mentor beats any school bus. Curiously, she asks why a student from the Martial Arts Academy was waiting outside the luxurious dorms of the Evolution Academy. He casually explains that his girlfriend lives there and he has moved in with her. Hearing this, the assistant laments her own love life, complaining that she has never even lived with a man. Soon, they arrive at a large modern building. She leads him to an entrance with a sign that reads, Pure Human Research Institute. She beckons him inside, and he wonders if the sign is short for the Pure-Blooded Human Research Institute. She shows him a common area where researchers relax and offers him free drinks from a stocked refrigerator. Walking through an empty hallway, he asks why no one else is around. She sighs and explains that Tianren is not well regarded by the university. Because their funding is limited, they cannot afford a large staff. She reveals that the entire organization consists of only the dean, herself, him, and 3 senior martial arts students. He is shocked, realizing that the large group of men in karate uniforms with the dean when they first met were just hired actors. Feeling a bit let down, he thinks that as long as he gets the promised triple benefits, nothing else matters. Still hopeful, optimism on a shoestring budget. She calls out to the dean, announcing she has brought him. A disheveled, exhausted dean appears and invites them into his cluttered office. She comments on the dean's haggard state. He explains that he has been there for almost half a month, struggling to make a breakthrough in his research on the blood tempering technique. Despite his research struggles, the dean gives him an encouraging thumbs up, confident that his involvement will lead to great progress for the pure blood path. He boasts that she was once the top scorer in the Kyoto entrance exams. She proudly adds that her own physical test scores in youth were even higher. The dean's tone turns serious as he explains that with her help, he finally broke through a decade-long plateau and completed his 3rd body tempering. Breakthrough vibes. This breakthrough gave him the power, as an ordinary Tier 9 human, to defeat a high-level gene fuser. Placing his hands on his shoulders, he assures him that with time, he has the potential to surpass even the mentor. Changing the subject, the dean asks about his progress with the blood tempering technique, and whether he has reached Tier 4 to begin skin tempering. He calmly confirms that he has mastered it. Pleased, the dean assigns her as his mentor, explaining that with her guidance, he should complete his first skin tempering by the end of the semester. She confidently accepts the task. However, he interrupts, plainly stating that a mentor will not be necessary. Skipping a mentor, bold move. He reveals that he already completed the first round of skin tempering during his summer vacation. This shocking announcement leaves both of them stunned and speechless. She finds it impossible that he could have mastered the complex technique after reading it for only half an hour. He explains that he practiced skin tempering on his own over the summer. He claims a book gave detailed instructions which he studied for a few days, though he secretly admits it only took him 30 minutes. Still skeptical, Dean Liu asks to examine his hand to confirm the progress. Before showing his arm, he discreetly activates his natural camouflage ability, deciding to mask his true power level. He sets his visible biological level to ordinary tier 5, just high enough to match completing one round of skin tempering. He then lets the dean inspect his arm. The moment Dean Liu touches him, both she and Sister Yan are left speechless. The dean confirms in amazement that he has indeed completed a full skin tempering session. The shocked dean asks for his current biological level. Feigning nervousness, he tells her it is an ordinary tier 5. This revelation sends the dean into pure ecstasy. The dean shouts that he is a peerless genius and that the future of the pure blood path is secure. Overjoyed, she pulls the surprised him into a tight hug. Watching them, Sister Yan reflects that there is always someone more talented. She smiles, thinking it is beneficial to have a more capable person leading their cause. She appears hopeful and asks the dean to reveal the hero's potential right away, saying it will attract talent and secure extra funding. Liu promptly objects, warning that the hero's abilities need to stay concealed for now, since exposing his progress could endanger him. The dean states that every resource should be dedicated to helping the prodigy Zichen shatter the ordinary biological barrier. When Sister Yan expresses concern about funding, the dean comforts her. He vows to tap all his connections to collect the evolution resources required, and to locate a powerful patron for the hero before they begin promoting Tyne Ren's ideals. The hero sits calmly, picturing the surprise everyone would feel if they discovered he already ranks at ordinary 9th tier and has completed the tempering of his muscles and bones. The dean informs the hero that he no longer has to attend basic classes at the Martial Arts Academy. Instead, he will be assigned to the Research Institute, with Sister Yan serving as his assistant. A frustrated Song Yu Yan balls her fist and complains that serving as an assistant to a junior feels demeaning. The dean brushes off her worries, noting that pride has no place in their research. The dean announces a freshman trial for the following afternoon to crown the strongest first-year student, confidently telling Zichen that the title is practically his. He encourages the hero to participate for the Academy's honor, promising a reward of 10 blood pills and 10 school credits. The mention of credits immediately captures the hero's complete attention. Soon the freshman assembly day arrives, and a massive crowd fills the university auditorium. The hero and his girlfriend sit together as whispers begin to swirl around them, just like high school drama, right? The vibes are real. Students recognize him as the top scorer and speculate about his link to their goddess Han. Their discussion is interrupted when a disheveled-haired man calls for their attention. A familiar face approaches, the chatty, spiky-hair freshman from earlier, who asks the hero whether he remembers him. The hero nods in acknowledgement. The freshman leans in, disregarding personal space, and bluntly asks about the nature of their relationship. Clasping Han's flushed hand, the hero calmly replies that they are childhood sweethearts, intending to marry right after graduation. The freshman appears visibly disappointed, forcing a string of smiles as more first-year students fill the auditorium. Among the crowd, a girl with dark hair, purple tips, and cat-like ears sits quietly. She turns and fixes the hero with a serious, lingering stare that makes him feel a bit uneasy. The chatty freshman returns to his seat, chatting animatedly with nearby students. Then a man at the podium announces the start of the ceremony and calls for the freshman representative to step onto the stage. To everyone's surprise, the spiky-hair freshman stands up. As he strides confidently toward the stage, other students murmur in disbelief. They wonder why a dyed-hair, loud-mouthed student was selected for a role usually reserved for the strongest, probably a gene fuser. The freshman enjoys the reaction, viewing it as a chance to make a big impression. Seizing the microphone, he asks the crowd whether they know the famous genius Li Yijin. The hero inwardly scoffs, aware that everyone already knows the Kyoto prodigy. Big hype, huh? He reveals that the genius has an equally talented younger brother who topped the entrance exams, boasting a 16% gene fusion compatibility and the highest national physical test scores. Flashing a confident smile, he announces that he is that brother, Li Moyu, and declares that he and his older sibling will dominate the records at both Shanghai and Kyoto universities. To demonstrate his power, Lee Moyu unleashes the full force of his biological pressure, claiming it equals the strength of an ordinary fifth-tier being. The entire auditorium is stunned by the massive aura, with students gasping at the huge gap between them and a true genius. Satisfied with the chaos, Moyu smugly tells everyone to remember his name. From the audience, Han whispers to the hero, mocking Moyu's arrogance and claiming he has no idea the hero could defeat him with a single finger. The hero tells her to keep a low profile, and she playfully agrees. After the speech ends, the announcer invites Student Council President Jo Zui Hong to the stage. Zui Hong steps up, introduces himself, and outlines 3 key points. First, he explains that the Student Council handles discipline and holds considerable campus authority. Second, he says the council will recruit 10 new freshman members next semester, requiring only raw strength, and urges them to use the upcoming months to prove themselves. Finally, he issues a stark warning. The inner campus of Shanghai University is a ruthless place where strength rules and senior bullying is common. After urging everyone to gear up mentally, Jo Zui Hong's expression darkens as he declares he wants to give everyone a glimpse of an advanced being's power. Talk about an over-the-top pep talk. Seriously intense. He releases a crushing wave of biological pressure that rattles the entire auditorium. The freshmen are instantly overwhelmed, gasping for air and screaming in pain under the massive force. When the oppressive aura finally fades, the hero realizes the biological pressure was truly overwhelming from a distance. But it cannot affect him, so he remains composed while others struggle. The power is ordinary level, 9th rank. The other freshmen exhale in relief, having feared they would die because it felt like an advanced level attack. Fortunately, the terrifying pressure lasted only 5 seconds. After Jo Zui Hong leaves the stage, Yuan Dongjai steps forward to continue the assembly. The woman declares the freshman assembly over and announces that the entrance test will start immediately. Then Yuan Dongjai explains the rules. In the middle of the gym stands a massive martial arts platform. Whoever can remain alone on it for over 1 minute will be crowned this year's freshman king and earn 100 credits, 10 times last year's prize. The second person to stay alone for the same duration will claim second place and receive 90 credits. The rankings will continue down the line in the same manner. In the stands, a pair of overconfident upperclassmen smirk, bragging that the top 10 spots have always gone to geniuses of their class. Suddenly, a special rule is announced. If any freshman from a non-genius class breaks into the top 10, then all freshmen except the genius class will earn 1 credit. With each credit worth 10,000 yuan, every student starts calculating, seeing a good chance to win if they cooperate. Hiyu hops onto the stage, grabs the microphone, and confidently introduces himself, reminding everyone that Lin Zichen, the province's top scorer, is the strongest freshman. Nice hype, man. He suggests that all ordinary freshmen help the hero break into the top 10 by targeting the genius class. The crowd's focus shifts to the hero, while Lin Zichen remains unfazed. Everyone pledges to help the hero, promising to clear the way for Lin Zichen. From a distant part of the gym, Liu Chuanwu remarks that Dean Ma was being petty earlier. He alleges the dean holds a grudge after Li Yijin trounced him on stage at the year's start and is now taking it out on his younger brother. Dean Ma scoffs, calling him the pettiest person around. Unbothered, Chuanwu says his pettiness is aimed only at the individual, not their family. Their indirect argument is interrupted when Zhou mentions Ma's daughter excelling in the college entrance exam. The president hopes the dean's daughter will join the union because he looks forward to training her. Dean Ma assures Zhou that his daughter, Shiwei, will definitely join. If she is a genius, the president will ensure she receives proper support. Curious, Zhou wonders aloud who will claim the freshman king title this year, Li Moyu or Shiwei. One faculty member predicts Li Moyu will win the title because of his 5th rank strength, while another is convinced the dean's daughter will claim it. Although her score was slightly lower than Li Moyu's, she managed to fuse with the Shadow Knight cat genes during vacation, meaning her current strength might match his. Chuanwu interjects, claiming that neither Lee Moyu nor Ma Shuwei will win because the freshman king will surely be Lin Zichen. Irritated, Dean Ma points out that the boy's test results did not even place him in the top 10. He tells his rival to stop bragging about a Tian Ren Pavilion member as if selling overpriced fruit. The two egotistical men then wager 100 credits. Betting on school fame, huh? High stakes. Chuanwu pulls Yin into the bet, and others join, finding it entertaining. Dean Ma then wonders if Chuanwu bribed Lee Moyu to lose on purpose, but feels slightly less worried since his daughter remains in the competition. A seed of doubt sprouts as he wonders whether Lin Zichen could actually become freshman king. At that moment, the mechanical college dean approaches Dean Ma, asking if it hurts his pride that Lin Zichen switched to the evolution college. The mechanical dean alleges Dean Chuanwu poached the student midway. Pretending indifference, Ma explains his elite college has plenty of talent, so losing one student does not really matter. The mechanical dean smirks, fully aware that this man poached the last 3 senior students from Tian Ren Pavilion while acting nonchalant. Because Principal Yuan bets 1,000 credits while others wager only 100, Chuanwu feels quietly amused and confident he will win big this time. After a short wait, the entrance test begins. Instantly, many freshmen rush onto the platform, aiming to defeat the genius class. The arena erupts into chaos. Standing in a corner, Lin Zichen notices that many genius class students earned their spots only because of high gene fusion compatibility. He identifies the real threats as the 12 elites led by Li Mo Yu and Ma Shiwei. Suddenly, Lin Zichen activates his danger perception ability. This ability lets him see each student's true biological strength. He notes that both Li Mo Yu and Zai Wei have reached the ordinary 5th rank. Pretty neat ability, huh? While most genius students lie unconscious on the floor, the ordinary freshmen surge forward to confront the remaining 12 elites. A huge guy named Lu Kai-jai crashes onto the stage. He angrily accepts the challenge, reminding the freshmen that they only beat the weakest by sheer numbers. The freshmen rush forward, but a single sweeping kick from the muscular giant pushes them back. He scoffs that ants will always be ants, no matter the crowd. The wounded students glance at Lin Zichen, urging him to intervene. Seeing this, the hero steps onto the stage, taking charge as the chaos escalates. Kai-jai steps before the hero, admitting he has been eager to fight the top scorer of the physical fitness test. He arrogantly boasts about his exam scores and challenges the hero to reveal his own. Lin Zichen replies calmly that he need not brag, as his opponent will soon feel the results firsthand. In an instant, he lands a devastating kick. The force sends the huge man flying across the stage, slamming him into the floor. The match ends instantly, and the ordinary freshmen roar their cheers for the hero. The faculty members stare in disbelief. They expected him to win through strategy, but he won with outright strength. Even Dean Ma is shocked, having always seen the hero as calm and refined. Without warning, another student named Luo Yangjian steps onto the stage, bragging about his achievements until Lin Zichen kicks his leg straight into his face. Who knew a kick could cause such a stir? Lin Zichen clearly hears the ordinary freshman praising his abilities and strength, their pride evident. A sudden announcement summons Li Mo Yu and Ma Ziwei to step up, warning that otherwise the freshman title will fall to the ordinary class. With that, Ziwei quickly steps onto the stage. Everyone expects her to crush the ordinary freshman. At the same time, Lin Zichen's supporters cheer him on, urging him not to show mercy just because his opponent is a girl. As Ziwei faces her new opponent, the hero watches a gene fusioner up close for the first time. The battle erupts without warning, as Ziwei darts forward at lightning speed. In the blink of an eye, the girl closes the gap and delivers a strong kick, but the hero dodges by leaning back slightly. Noticing this movement, Lin Zichen wonders if this is the boost she gained from fusing with the Shadow Knight cat genes. Conversely, Ziwei is shocked by how easily Zichen avoided her strike, sensing a huge gap in their strengths, making further fighting feel futile. Leaping back to create distance, the girl asks for 30 seconds to fully activate her Shadow Knight cat genes. Interesting, right? Seeing a rare chance to witness gene activation, Lin Zichen quickly agrees. As Ziwei prepares, her body starts to transform. She drops onto all fours like a cat, assuming an attacking stance. From the crowd, faculty members turn to Dean Ma, praising his daughter's ability and calling her worthy of being the third highest scorer in the Kyoto College entrance exam. This is not a proud moment for the dean. He worries because Ziwei just completed her gene fusion, and continuing could cause severe backlash to her body. As her transformation completes, she calls Lin Zichen arrogant for waiting for her to activate her skills, vowing that he will pay a heavy price. Immediately, Ziwei lunges with an intense kick, but Zichen shifts at the last moment to dodge the blow. Observing her moves, Lin Zichen realizes that although she was an ordinary 5th rank before, she is now unmistakably close to 6th rank level. The top scorer of Kyoto College is furious, and in disbelief that even after activating such a skill, she could not land a hit. Enraged, Ziwei launches multiple attacks, but each one is wasted as the hero prevents her from landing any blow. After she wastes her energy, Lin Zichen concludes he has gathered the necessary data on the Shadow Knight Cat Fusioner and decides not to prolong the fight. Data collection complete. Science wins. As Ziwei lunges forward again, Lin Zichen finally lands a punch to her face, sending her body crashing into a pile of defeated students. The crowd gathers around her, worried and feeling sorry for the once beautiful face. Moments later, Ziwei sits up as her father rushes to her side. Dean Ma shouts at the boy for striking a girl, but calmly Lin Zichen explains that on the path of evolution, there is no distinction between men and women. He adds that only strength matters in the end. From the crowd, Li Mo Yu agrees and leaps from the stands onto the stage to confront the hero. The genius class students chant for their peer to avenge Ziwei. Li Mo Yu steps forward, stating he never expected Lin Zichen to be such a mastermind. The hero deliberately presents himself as merely the second highest scorer in the college exam. Li Mo Yu's plan is to strike down top scorers after the entrance test. An evil smirk appears on his face as he adds that the hero is not the only one who hid his strength. As he speaks, Li Mo Yu unleashes his true powers, shocking everyone. He is also a gene fusioner, wielding the demonic eye of the great ape. This fusion can only be achieved by someone who has attained an advanced level of physical strength. It is clear he has reached the ordinary 6th rank. While everyone admires the boy's power, Quan Wu's only worry is losing the bet. On the other side, Lu Gang and Wang Shujai talk via a digital watch to someone who informs them that the organization has assigned a mission. The informant says he's already hidden an advanced demonic seed in the university park, and they have to fetch it and persuade Li Mo Yu to swallow it. Shujai frets since Li Mo Yu is the Li family's young master, making the mission feel extra risky, but the caller reminds them that the organization is far more powerful than they think. The caller warns that one single order could wipe out the whole Kyoto Li family. Gang and Shujai exchange nervous looks, unsure what to do. Lin Zichen knows the demonic-eyed great ape is a mutant beast designed for maximum strength and defense, though it moves quite slowly. Li Mo Yu flashes a sneering grin at Lin Zichen, daring him to stay cool when the fight starts, and bragging that there's a huge power gap between them. Without saying a word, Lin Zichen charges forward and throws a punch. Li Mo Yu dodges just in time, revealing that his opponent's speed is actually pretty good. Lin Zichen accelerates the punch to 7th speed. This time Li Mo Yu cannot dodge, and the fist slams straight into his face. Embarrassed, Li Mo Yu grumbles that the sneak attack was dishonorable, but Lin Zichen shrugs, noting that his opponent's defense is top tier for a 6th rank fighter. Li Mo Yu vows to stay sharper so his opponent cannot land another hit. Then, the protagonist barrels forward at high speed, unleashing a flurry of blows. Even with all those hits, he cannot cause real damage. The beast, though slower, blocks everything thanks to its high defense that leaves a large margin for error. The crowd thinks Li Mo Yu will win easily. One beast punch would knock Lin Zichen out. After testing his reaction, the protagonist jumps back to create some distance. The beast smirks, admitting he misread the speed, but teasing that Li Mo Yu's physical power is too weak. Lee Mo-yu then decides to strike back with a huge punch. The crowd shouts for Lin Zichen to move, but he stays still. Quan Wu looks downcast, and others keep mentioning the 100 credits he wagered. The punch slams into Lin Zichen's face with a sharp crack that echoes across the arena. Lee Mo-yu collapses to his knees, shouting that his hand is broken. The spectators are baffled, unsure what just happened, and they wonder if Lin Zichen somehow clinched the win. Lin Zichen probably won by pure luck. Standing over the down Lee Mo-yu, the protagonist watches what just happened. He realizes that the demonic-eyed great ape gene fusion gave the beast so much power that it actually snapped the user's own hand. Mo-yu's attack strength outran his own physical defense. The protagonist quickly summons medics, informing them that Lee Mo-yu has a comminuted fracture. Principal Yuan Dongzi asks him to step aside for a closer inspection. After a quick check, she confirms the whole hand is broken from the backlash of his own power. Yuan swiftly grabs a pill and gives it to the downed fighter. A curious thought pops into Yuan's mind. If the hit was that brutal, how hard must the protagonist's face be? She tries to gauge his strength with a mental probe. He could probably bite through a walnut with that jaw. What a tough cheek. As expected, his natural camouflage hides his true level. Yuan is puzzled to see that the boy's biological rank is merely ordinary 6th, even though his skin is tougher than anyone else at that tier. Wow, hidden power. The principal shares her findings with the crowd, easing his mind because his trick fooled everyone. At the same time, Lee Mo-yu is shocked to feel his hand moving again, fully healed after the pill. The protagonist walks up to his opponent and asks if the hand is okay. After receiving a yes, he gives a gentle kick that launches the poor guy straight out of the ring. The opponent's face reddens with fury, and he swears to beat the protagonist once his gene fusion levels up. The ordinary freshmen retort that their champion can catch up just as quickly. The arena erupts in cheers for the ordinary class's win. Suddenly, the protagonist leaps off the stage into the crowd, and before anyone reacts, scoops Shen Qingchen into his arms. Her face flushes bright red, wondering if he is about to announce their relationship right here. They land cleanly back on the ring, and the protagonist declares he is taking all spots from 2nd to 10th. The genius class erupts in outrage, warning him he has gone too far. The students rush forward like a pack, swearing to crush both Shen Qingchen and the protagonist, calling her a traitor for siding with the ordinary class. Attackers pour in from every side, but he flows effortlessly. The protagonist dodges each blow and counters with slick moves that fling bodies in all directions. From above, a student named Shiwei dives to strike Qingchen. In a flash, the protagonist appears, slamming the attacker so hard that her father lets out a horrified scream for his daughter. With the genius class fully beaten, he feels satisfied that no one can object. An announcement confirms that Shen Qingchen has secured 2nd place in the entrance test. The protagonist offers the remaining ranks to the ordinary freshmen, keeping all the academy credits that come with those spots. The students burst into cheers, eager for a slice of the top 10. The total adds up to 559 credits. Seeing that, Dean Ma complains to the principal, saying that selling spots breaks university rules and is totally unacceptable. The protagonist keeps battling for rankings and dominates the top 10, even though he already holds the freshman king title. Just as he is about to rant further, Quan Wu cuts in, challenging Dean Ma to name any rule that bans hiring fighters to grab a top 10 spot. Dean Ma attempts a rebuttal, but cannot locate a single clause to back him up. Still, he insists that Lin Zichen is clearly exploiting a rule loophole. Principal Yuan sides with Dean Ma, admitting it is a loophole, but notes it can only be fixed next year because changing it now would be unfair to the ordinary freshmen. Meanwhile, the plan shifts. Gang and Shu Jai have been told to replace Lee Mo-yu with Lin Zichen. They have been ordered to force the protagonist to eat the advanced demonic seed and hand him over to their organization. When the entrance test wraps up, Quan Wu rushes toward Lin Zichen with open arms to congratulate him, but the protagonist steps aside from the hug. Instead, he asks if the dean has forgotten her promises. Laughing, Quan Wu pulls out a flask of 10 chi blood pills and the promised triple benefits, Now that is a generous gift. The dean also transferred 300 academic credits to his account, since Lin Zichen helped him win 1,900 credits in a wager. Lowering her voice, the dean asks about the protagonist's hidden strength. Lin Zichen admits a partial truth: he is at ordinary level, rank 6. He explains he has finished one round of skin tempering and even hardened some facial muscles. The revelation shocks Quan Wu completely, leaving him in disbelief. The dean is fully confident Lin Zichen will become advanced level as a pure human before graduation. Overwhelmed, she begs the protagonist to stay on the pure human path. Later that night, the protagonist sits alone on his bed, swallows a chi blood pill to test it, and feels heat surge through his body immediately. A system notification shows a disappointing rise of only 108 points, a boost far weaker than a short run. He decides to hand the remaining pills to Qingchen. As she steps into the room, he gives her one and asks her to take it. After swallowing it, Qingchen feels a warm surge as her qi and blood flow become richer. The protagonist hands over the rest, noting they do not help him much. The next morning at Tianren Institute, Lin Zichen arrives early and bumps into Yu Yan, who teases him about being the new king. She mentions the dean revealed his rank. When the protagonist confirms he is at ordinary tier 6, Yu Yan's eyes light up with excitement. Soon after, the protagonist dives into research. Since others could not grasp the blood tempering chapter, he leans on his biology to make it look easy. His focus is broken when Yu Yan returns, telling him that student union members are waiting outside to recruit him. He first brushes off the idea, but his expression shifts as soon as he learns union members receive monthly credit allowances. Lin Zichen goes to meet the student union president, Zhou Zuhang, who greets him politely. The president formally invites the protagonist to join the student union as a candidate, hoping to groom him into the school's future leader. The leader outlines huge perks of joining the union: luxurious meals 3 times a day and the power to sway major university decisions. On top of that, members get monthly credit allowances. Tempted by the practical benefits, Lin Zichen agrees without much hesitation. But the president adds a key condition. Lin Zichen must follow the gene fusion path, arguing that even the greatest natural talent eventually caps at ordinary level. The leader cites Yan and Dean Liu Chuanwu as proof of those who failed by refusing the path. Calmly, the protagonist asks whether gene fusion is mandatory to join. When the president confirms it is mandatory, the boy simply walks away, leaving everyone stunned. As he departs, he notes the perks do not even match what he already receives from the Tianren Pavilion. Guess he is already living the high life. He's got the good life already. The union members mock his choice behind his back, calling him arrogant for staying on the pure-blood human path, and they are sure he will regret it soon. The president decides to move on and recruit other geniuses, believing a talented person with no future is essentially worthless. Later, Lin Zichen vents to Yu Yan, who is furious about the union's narrow-mindedness. Their conversation is cut short when Dean Chuanwu arrives, looking completely exhausted. Yu Yan jokes, praising the dean's extreme dedication to the pure-blood path and teasing that he might sell his body for funding. Irritated, the dean snaps back, warning the protagonist to stay away from women because they are a distraction. The dean then shares good news. The university offers housing for families of talented students and can even arrange internal jobs for them. That means the protagonist can bring his parents to live on campus. He is happy about it and plans to discuss the move with them over the weekend. Additionally, the dean authorizes Lin Zichen to take university-issued missions early. With his current strength, there is no need to wait for the second semester to start earning credits. Yu Yan suggests they team up, since she goes off campus each week for work. She mentions an upcoming mutant beast hunting mission that could broaden his horizons. The protagonist checks the university app and sees most missions are trivial errands worth very few credits. He starts looking for a more serious challenge. He spots a student-posted mission seeking a gene fusion sparring partner. The requirement is oddly specific, a beast-eared girl, but the reward is 5 credits per month. Lin Zichin prefers off-campus missions like capturing suspects or hunting mutant beasts. He quickly accepts a high-stakes mission worth 50 credits. The task is to capture a cat-themed gene fusion user who has gone berserk. As he readies for the hunt, Yu Yan is surprised at how fast he found her information. She leans in, shocked that the protagonist took the Catwoman mission, and asks to join him. He, confused, wonders aloud how she learned about it. Yu Yan explains the mission page shows the names of everyone who signed up. Checking his phone, the protagonist sees 28 people have already accepted, including Ma Shiwei, who is only at ordinary 5th rank. He finds it odd she dared to take the mission, but assumes she has backup. Then he announces he is heading back for lunch. On his way home, he senses someone following him. Using his danger sense, he identifies the stalker as a 7th rank ordinary level cultivator. A man steps out of the shadows, accusing the protagonist of deliberately targeting someone sweet like Shiwei. He angrily asks if there is a grudge now that they are competing for the same off-campus mission. The man keeps ranting, calling the protagonist a bully who hits women. When he pauses, the protagonist asks if Dean Ma or Wei sent him, but the man says he acted on his own. Realizing he is dealing with a fool, the protagonist starts walking away. The man shouts for him to stop, and irritated, the protagonist spins and lands a swift punch on the foolish guy. The talker collapses on the ground. Later, the protagonist arrives at his apartment, where Kingchen calls from the kitchen, telling him to get ready for dinner. Dinner is about to get wild, sounds like a chaotic feast. She mentions the 4.5 kilogram undead slug mutant meat he ordered has arrived and is in the fridge. Opening it, he admits he originally wanted the whole batch to unlock the codex, but feared it would attract too much notice. Placing his hands on the meat, he absorbs a large amount of life essence, boosting the undead slug codex to 10%. He starts tossing the leftovers, but a confused Kingchen grabs him, asking what is wrong. He explains he can absorb life essence from mutant meat to gain its abilities. Kingchen is taken aback, finally seeing why he refuses the gene fusion oath. During dinner, they decide to move their parents to the city, since Dean Chuanwu gave permission to arrange housing and jobs for gifted students. Kingchen mentions an exciting duel at the gymnasium between a 9th rank mechanical student and an 8th rank gene fusion student. A huge crowd gathers at the university gymnasium. On the 2nd floor, a famed cyborg prodigy watches. In the arena center, 2 fighters ready themselves for battle. Kingchen asks who he thinks is stronger. The protagonist says the duel's outcome will decide whether the Kyoto genius or the mechanical prodigy has the edge. The announcement signals the match's start. The cyborg reacts instantly, spreading mechanical wings and firing a barrage of missiles straight at the opponent. The gene-infused beast crosses his arms, trying to shield himself from the missiles, leaving no chance to counter. When the dust settles, several observers notice the mechanical student and are shocked to see him switch to melee mode. Summoning his remaining strength, the gene infuser charges forward for revenge. The beast throws a punch, but it barely affects his opponent. The mechanical student retaliates, sending the gene infuser flying backward until he collapses. Just like that, the cyborg wins the match. In a different setting, Principal Yuan reviews a report from her assistant. A subject called Number 36 has been unusually quiet for the past few months. It is unclear whether the other side has abandoned this passage or a larger plot is unfolding. The principal asks for an update on a girl named Gan Shui. The report says the girl has adapted extremely well. Her growth is astonishingly fast. She is already close to reaching the 2nd rank of the advanced level. Curious about her origins, the assistant notes Gan Shui does not seem like a native of Earth. Principal Yuan reminds her subordinate not to speak out of line. Principal Yuan ends the call to oversee a student coordination match. When she looks at the live feed, she sees the cyborg employing impressive tactics. The principal realizes the mechanical deity group is stronger than expected. Though cyborgs are versatile, they cannot enter the origin land because electronic devices fail there. She quietly turns off the monitor, concluding that even the strongest cyborg would be useless there. Later, Lin Zichen and King Chen return from a weekend visit with their parents. The two families had dinner and discussed moving near the university. Everyone agreed to move. Now it is time for the protagonist to finish the Catwoman mission. He walks through the red light district, reviewing the briefing. Looks like a midnight adventure. Midnight mischief, anyone? Sounds like a wild night. Catwoman, the target, usually appears around here to lure men and then kill them. She is a master of disguises and knows her way around many different drugs. The district is massive, so no one has finished the job yet. Lin Zichen decides to scan the area with his sky eye and his built-in danger sense. When he starts, the nearby people feel uneasy under his intense stare. A thug steps forward, angrily asking what he is looking at. Without a second thought, Lin Zichen releases his biological pressure. An invisible blast hits the thug, sending him crashing to the ground. After scanning the area and finding nothing suspicious, he gets ready to move to the next sector. Then a familiar presence catches his eye. He spots Shiwei with two senior 7th rank students. They are probably here to help her with the Catwoman operation. Shiwei and her ally notice him and keep their distance. He watches, stunned, as the trio walks away, intending to locate the target first. The male companion, infused with demon hound genes, assures them his nose is keen enough to track her down. Moments later, he picks up the scent. He points across the street, confirming the target is inside a bar. Shiwei and her team dash toward it. They push through the crowd, eager to capture the target. The male companion points to a girl in the corner, busy on her phone. No one else is sure about the girl, but the companion is confident. He recognizes her scent as identical to the one he detected on Catwoman's belongings at the security bureau. He trusts his gut because Catwoman is famous for disguises. Suddenly, without warning, all three rush forward to grab the girl. Just as they close in, she looks up with a wicked grin. In an instant, Catwoman shatters the glass window and bolts out the exit. What a dramatic exit. They give chase, but she is far too quick. Fortunately, the companion follows her scent and leads the trio into a narrow dead-end alley. Catwoman smirks, mocking them. She asks if they really thought they could catch her when she was serious about getting away. Then she releases her biological pressure, noting that the best hunters often become her prey. She fully transforms, leaving the trio frozen with fear. They realize she is an ordinary level, 9th rank foe who has hidden her true power. The trio now runs for their lives, seeing the mission as impossible. From behind, Catwoman taunts them to stop running, saying escape will not be easy. She leaps ahead and blocks the male companion's way. She admits the companion caught her eye the moment he entered the bar. With no other option, Wei tosses smoke bombs into the alley to dull her senses, allowing their escape. Exhausted, the trio finally reaches a busy street. The male companion cannot believe what happened and suggests calling Dean Ma to update Catwoman's danger profile. What a day, right? Wei pulls out her phone to call her father, then remembers that Lin has also taken the mission. That means he could run into the monster too. Worried, she decides to call Ching Chan to warn the protagonist, fearing he might die. Meanwhile, back in the alley, Catwoman is irritated that her prey escaped. When the dust settles, she spots a new figure, Lin standing calmly. Catwoman finds it amusing, thinking her luck has turned, and she laughs at his misfortune. Deciding he is her new prey, Catwoman lunges forward.